Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Summer 2024 FFR Rando Marathon presented by Final Fantasy Randomizer. We are about to start our stream of the Metroid Prime 1 and 2 cross game randomizers by Reed Whaley and La Competencia. We are raising money for the Liam Foundation, an LGBTQIA organization out of Rockford, Illinois, that's done great work for years, and we have been proud to support them for years. Our run is going to be of both Metroid Prime 1 and 2 simultaneously, cross game, presumably archipelago style. And it's going to be a great run. I think everybody's going to have a lot of fun with it. On the comms, we're going to have Baja Blood and Jeff Gaines and Games, and they will be taking you through the action. I just want to mention before I toss it over to them, we don't have anything in terms of incentives for Metroid Prime and the next randomizer, which is Mega Man 7. But keep getting that money in for Hollow Knight incentives. You've got incentives for the FFR and FFNQR Archipelago race later tonight, and I'll go over those at another time. But for now, I will go ahead and kick it over to Baja and Jeff. Y'all take it away, and everybody, good luck and have fun.
Thank you. And I, in turn, will be passing the baton over to our runners today, Reed and Jeff. This is their show. They're in the booth with us as well, and I will leave it to them to introduce themselves. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, hello folks, my name is Jay. I am a competitive Metroid Prime player for about 3 years now. I am very glad to be here and be joined by my fellow TO. Hello, Reed.
Hey everybody, Reed Whaley here. I won't say I'm anywhere near a competitive player, but I've been running tournaments and stuff for the Metroid Prime Randomizer community and helping out there for several years now, and always loved these games. So amazing to be here. Great to join you guys for an amazing cause.
Up front before we start, so this will be cross game, meaning a good friend of mine once used an example of imagining two decks of cards and they're shuffled together, which means I will have progressional items for Reed needing in Metroid Prime 2, and Reed will have progressional items for me in Metroid Prime 2 for Prime 1. And the goal for both of us is to get through the game, get our required items, and go beat the games. Otherwise than that, the only thing worth mentioning is what we can go into deeper later, is that Prime is a lot faster movement-wise, which will be seen very early. Otherwise, Jeff, Baha, if one of us wants to do us the honor and give us a time, give us a countdown.
Yes. All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's do this. Good luck.
Good luck. And I guess, Jeff, if you want to start, we're going to see some tricks coming out the gate right away from Jay here.
Yes.
You want to explain what we're about to see?
Yeah, Prime is all about going fast and is very heavily sideways-based movement. Scan dashing. Usually when you dash to the side, you get a dash to quickly move to the side in order to help you with combat to dodge attacks, but instead, the game's supposed to slow you down. If we just let go of the lock-on, the game never checks to slow you down, and we get to zoom across the screen, allowing Jay to complete space jump first, and we'll see a lot of these dashes as we continue on here. And there's no sideways speed cap in Prime, so zoom. It does mean, however, that we have to be very familiar with the map, because we'll never, we usually won't see where we're going.
Reed, you get an echo
item. Yeah, that's a terrifying first item. So, on my side, I actually start off with a mini boss fight from where we start. Just to ensure that we have some progression. We actually don't start in the main starting area, which is landing site. We start off here at main energy controller. And we start with the Violent Translator because this game has a bunch of locks that are color-coded. And to get out of this room, you have to have Violet Translator to get out of the main doorway.
I, to be honest, completely forgot that we started with the salon chat. I just made my way to Joseph. God damn it. Yeah, so especially for the early game, it's going to be a lot of quick checks for Prime. You can basically you can basically compare this as I am basically speed running my way into BK, to basically speed running into having no logical checks anymore. And on Echo's side, Reed will be trying to do his very best to keep me out of BK and try to find items. Given that Prime's checks per minute is a lot higher, this will be challenging in the late game.
Yeah, so Echoes is a little bit larger of a game world. It's got 118 item locations as compared to Prime's 100. Counterbalancing that a bit, Echoes does have hints. There are various lore scan points in the game that have been converted into hint locations that will give you maybe some useful information, maybe some not. Depends on what the game is, how helpful the game feels like being to you. But that can even out some of the disadvantage that Echoes has in terms of having a larger world to traverse and more items to find, and generally higher item requirements. Reed's a little more dependent on having items available to him than Jay.
Yep, and on the Prime side, we see the one of the only few hints that Prime has is the artifact locations. With these settings for CGC, we need 9 of the 12 artifacts. Only 9 are shuffled in, so we will need to collect all 9. But these hints will be specific to the room. So when Jay finds a moment and decides to read the hints, we'll know some of the things that are going to be required for both these players.
Shall we give it a look?
Let's do it.
Baha, you ready?
Loading.
Yes.
While you're loading that, my first items from Alpha Splinter were bombs, and after that was Seeker Launcher with Echo.
Oh god. Okay, we have your. Speaking of Seekers, we have your Cache A.
Okay.
We have my Fendrana Shorelines. We have your Mine Shaft. We have your Temple Axis in Sank. My Nursery. Your GFMC. Your Main Research. Your Hive Chamber B. And my Tower of Light. Those are...
Not.
I am confused. Those are very tame artifacts.
Yeah, in and out, 20-minute adventure, right?
What do you
peasy.
have planned?
Yeah, so it should be noted that Baha and I did screen the seed to make sure that it wasn't free, but also wasn't going to cause our runners so much pain that they go way over estimate. So, should be an interesting one still, though.
Game 8 my jump there.
And this, and then boop, we're on the other side. Misrelated raid there.
Okay, so for me, I'm going into probably the biggest early game progression holder. We're going into Chozo, which is a lot more checklands than Talon, especially for the early game, meaning we might be able to see some majors here.
We're getting one of the slightly less useful hints. There's guaranteed hints in the pool for what all of the major bosses have and where the various keys are that unlock those bosses. We just got the hint for the third major boss, Quadraxis, but his keys are actually not terribly necessary usually if you have any number of items that let you skip them. So not one of the more valuable hints that we found there on Reed's side.
Well, as you head to Jozo, I am heading into my first area, which is Aegon Wastes.
Thematically similar.
I was about to say, actually, both desert.
Yeah, brown and orange. Early game, looking for things like space jump, things like morph ball bumps, and for Prime. So Echo starts with morph ball. Prime needs it very badly. So finding stuff like that starts to open up these early areas of the game. As we get further on, we start looking for things like beams and suits, and then some of the late game checks are locked behind very specific items like that very suspicious echo visor we have already received.
Just quick, this is going to be a blink and you miss it.
I think that was
Hilarious.
Sunburst.
That
Yeah.
was Sunburst. Well, your Sunburst is bomb blocked.
So yeah, Jay taking advantage of the fact there that when you shoot a missile at a exploding thing like a crate or those mushroom things, your camera gets pushed backwards as kind of a emphasis. But if you're up against the wall, it can actually push the camera back into the wall and let you see basically out of bounds and get some peeks on
Your
items that you
supers.
otherwise wouldn't be able to see.
Space jump. That's not my morph ball.
Nope. That is your supers, though, in Mining Station A.
So Jay
Interesting.
just found a Metroid item. Do you want to explain what that was, Jeff?
Yeah, so because we have less artifacts than the vanilla game requires, 9 instead of 12. We also start with Charge Beam. So that means there are 4 items in our pool for Prime that are removed, and they are replaced by nothing items. They do nothing for us, as the name would suggest. And in Prime, they are visually Notroids, that these little Metroid models that have these funky patterns on them, and the patterns are random. We have not found a way to distinguish what makes them that color, and every room is different, and there's different ways to manipulate them to get different colors, and so it's a fun little mini game to try to find unique colored Metroids in this game.
There's
Echoes,
actually oh good.
I was gonna say, Echoes also has a nothing item, and that's just gonna show up as ETMs, energy transfer modules.
Just found my first one.
What is in the tree?
Jay, continuing to abuse the Prime camera here.
Oh no! Reed!
What is it?
My morph is locked behind your main PVs and spider.
Yeah, unless I find no, because after this bot. Oh.
Oh.
So I could have gotten to it if I'd found my space jump before doing this fight, but
Yep, so that morph ball is locked by super missiles. Reed already has scouted the super missiles in Mining Station A, but yeah, did not have the items. There's a way to sequence break that item with space jump, but it requires jumping off a wasp hive that no longer will exist after killing this boss. So yeah, we are looking for spider spider bombs and power bombs to get that item. We already have the bombs, luckily.
What's that? Looks like dark bursts?
Reed almost getting the
Yes.
quick cycle here on Bomb Guardian. There are some defined health thresholds where Bomb Guardian becomes invincible again. But if you strategically damage him by certain amounts, you can kind of skip over some, hit basically multiple of those thresholds at once, and therefore save yourself some cycles.
there's your wave beam at least. So
Just as Jay loses Rune Shrine.
yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah, so one thing to also note from Jay's side, sending over the Amber translator to read. That is another one of our 4 translators, which means even more access to hints, which will speed up things considerably. When we have late translators and no access to hints, the game becomes a little bit more convoluted at times.
Right here we're going to do a trick that is out of logic, which is Tower of Light, which usually requires, let me get this wrong, 36 missiles?
Correct.
That is correct.
On normal.
Wow. Flamethrower is an early validation.
so on my side, you'll see that not every hint in this game is what you would call useful. We do have some joke hints that are randomly shuffled into the seeds.
I believe there's 2 per.
There's 2
That's
per,
correct.
yeah.
And then we have the joke hints that are actually hints, but are just joke hints because of their positioning, like a Dark Beam hint locked behind Dark Beam.
Yeah, there are some good hints. sometimes things, will. Oh, I'm just waiting to to see the hints. Yeah, sometimes the hints will troll us, even if they're not joke hints, and we love to see it.
One Varia for you.
Now I see how this is going to be.
Even without Morph Ball, Varia does open up a little bit for us in Magmorph-J. Reed looking to be heading towards the Jump Guardian area.
Hold on, I won't.
One more hint coming up here for Reed in this room.
Okay, but before I'm heading into Magmor, we are going to do a safety save, because I'm going to do a check out of logic that might be dangerous without Morph Ball. I haven't messed it up in a long time, but mistakes
Just don't
happen.
jump too high.
I know where your grapple beam is.
Interesting. Where is it?
Junction sites. It's not too
Ooh,
bad.
also spider locked.
Yep.
I get the feeling for training chamber access. Also something, Jeff, you might want to explain is why am I turning so much while jumping?
Yeah. So like I mentioned before with dashing, Samus has no sideways speed cap, and now that Jay has space jump, we unlock a bunch of different new movement options. So L jumps can be done space jumpless, and that requires holding L and releasing it a few frames after you jump, and that locks Samus's speed because you sort of slow down at the beginning of a jump. But if you lock the speed and then release it, you will skip the deceleration but get the acceleration from the jump, extending it a little bit farther. And then with space jump, we can also couple that with turning to the side, pressing the R button, and doing an R jump, and that will give us even more speed. As we're turning sideways, we can fling Samus a little farther.
Now here we're going to get onto a little invisible standable in the ceiling. Because this room is open sealed, I can just jump basically out of it. And though we can see on the minimap this room is a plasma door, the top of the Arbor chamber is open sealed as well, which means if I now navigate into it correctly, I can drop in, and from the other side it is a power beam door, which means I get Sky Temple Key 4 early. The
Yeah.
Sky Temple keys basically working as artifacts just for echoes. Both of them work as basically boss keys. We need all of them to enter our final bosses in the end.
I guess
And
while
I'm
we're on
heading-
that topic, can kind of go over what all else do we need for you two to beat the game besides the 9 artifacts and SDKs.
For Prime, it's mostly just the beams, depending on the SDKs currently. Well, and supers.
And phase
Thank
on
you.
suit.
And Fates and Suit.
As to where echoes to get to the actual final bosses is going to be a minimum of screw attack. And then you can do the final bosses without Spider Ball, but it is an absolute nightmare and I don't recommend it to anyone. Spider Emperor 2 is miserable.
Yes. Can
So-
confirm.
Would I? No.
But it is required. Ooh, there's PBs. Just missing Spider from getting 2 Tortorbid skis already. Just missing Spider from being able to get your super so you can get
I'm on it.
Jay, for the love of God, please get out of the lava.
No. I like it.
I'll need a minimum of light and dark, or light/dark and annihilator which allows me to open light and dark portals that are not
Oh.
the big machines that you see here. All Sky Temple keys and Spider and Screw Attack. These are the hard requirements, I believe.
That looks like your spider. That is your spider.
So before I go back to Jump Guardian, I am going to go and get your spider or your super missiles for you.
That'd be lovely.
Jam, low health here.
Yep. Jake gonna be the first person to ever die to a puffer.
Nope, finds an E-tank, but not for himself.
Oh. I will take it because you didn't notice that the atmosphere in Dark Aether is dangerous.
No way.
Yeah, I know.
How'd you figure that one out?
Well, thankfully, the game does let you know. Also, you lose a ton of health. That is
Okay, this is a bold move. Okay.
Oh!
Those turns do
Over
20
is
health a
this-
pop. We get 25 health.
This is fine. I am used to this kind of energy.
Now you are gonna have to go through was it Transport Tunnel B? Without, so you might need to grab some more health to get past that Magmore.
Nah.
Alright, super missiles for you, and I'm off to go fight Jump Guardian again.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? the bunny hop worked well. I didn't imagine the bunny hop to go that far. I wanted to pick this one up. 52 should be fine. Should be coming out with like 4 HP. And then just die to a zoomer. I am ready. 9 HP. Barely off.
You make
Not
me so
even close.
nervous.
Not only you, buddy.
And yep, traversing through that lava can be expected. I guess we haven't really talked about the logic of this yet. So this randomizer, like pretty much any other randomizer, has a big old logic database. Makes sure that whatever crazy places it puts the items, it's still all going to be beatable. There's also a pretty impressive, honestly. I think this is one of the great features about Randomania is just how detailed in terms of tricks, how tricks let you traverse the world. Very well documented there, and the randomizer can take account for that. So for this seed and pretty much any of our community races and tournaments, we have a set of beginner tricks that are enabled. So the game does expect you to do a few relatively easy to learn things that are not kind of base intended usages of your items, including traversing that room without the morph ball.
Which in logic-wise takes 60 energy. Theoretically, you need 55, I think, to barely make it out. You don't need as much energy, so you have a bit more time for the trick itself. In my case, I like to play with fire. Literally.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Yeah, for attacking the marathon.
Nice. Good super cancel rate.
So yeah, one thing, I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but this multi-world is powered by Randomania, a randomizer platform for a multitude of games. Right now, a lot of Metroid games, but the catalog is expanding. Multi-world, you can play as many different games as you want. You can claim multiple worlds. All the games that are supported by Randomania will slowly get compatible with that, so you can play with your friends in Metroid Prime, Echoes, Dread, AM2R, soon to be Samus Returns, plenty of others, Cave Story. The list is increasing as we have a lot of contributors constantly working on the project. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Check out Randomania. It's a very, very customizable program, and we have a great community that likes to help new players out.
you doing there, Reed?
So I'm going to shoot this invisible space for a while. So one of the bosses coming up for me is Jump Guardian. And Jump Guardian just kind of hangs out. It just kind of chills here. And it has its invisibility cloak on. But thankfully, its invisibility cloaks don't stop missiles. And they don't stop power beam shots. And they don't stop really anything. So what you can do is you can just kind of sit here and poof, that was a little bit off. Just kind of pelt it with missiles for a while. Here, that should be close to it.
So I found, right now, I was able to peek a major item that I might or might not get once I'm out of checks. That Reed would surely pretty much like. It's in a very annoying spot that people like to evade, being your graph boost is in training chamber.
Oh, that's a rough one. All right.
So I am running out of have another cheeseburger. I am running out of checks without bombs, which means we're soon going to see some very, very out of logic plays. And I will soon be allowed to say a quote that has been said about this game 24 times. And I promised a friend of mine I will say it and I will think of him.
Is the quote Thardis is my favorite boss?
No.
Oh, dang. I thought I had it.
That's close. Guardian.
What do we have?
Missiles.
Oh wow.
So I am off to do the Dark Missile Trooper loop because he doesn't spawn until Bomb Guardian's dead. And now that I have power bombs, I will go into the GFMC loop because the main item in GFMC does not spawn until you have. Actually, I can just say it does not spawn until you kill jump.
Yep, yeah, plenty of checks available to us in Temple Grounds. Free. What are we doing on Jay's end? Looks like we're heading towards the incinerator drone.
Yep. I can't wait to get my vanilla bombs.
Did you pick the item in Upper Gathering Hall?
Oh, actually, no. Thanks for the reminder.
No.
No, come on, Jay.
Big thing
That's
that has been added with Randomania is save warps. So you can go to a save station, select no, and then hit some buttons or hold some buttons in front of him, and just go right back to the starting point. Helps a lot with some soft blocks or going to areas that are point of no return, which we will see here in a minute unless I find Randomizer.
Yep. Should be noted that warp to start is never logical in our case, so it's very nice for routing, but the game logic will never expect you to kind of get into a place that you have to take a save warp out of.
So, this is my favorite RNG boss of the game. It was named after the developer making it, namely being Zoid. Basically, there is good patterns for this boss to turn around and be vulnerable again. There's bad patterns. Randomania takes out a lot of the bad patterns and makes Zoid RNG deterministic, meaning in terms of racing, each Prime player would have the exact same boss fight. Now the annoying thing is, since I don't have bombs, or boost ball, which would also work, I won't be able to get out of this. Meaning, this could be a major for Reed and I'd have to wait for my bombs, or this could straight up just be bombs, or I need to reset, which is why I took the safety save a minute earlier. In this case it is... Not what I was expecting, not gonna lie, but it is my gravity. So I'm gonna enjoy my gravity suit color. I am purple, and reset.
So, what's the over-under that I find your bombs on Dark Missile Trooper now?
That'd be alright. I know where gravity would send me. I have a feeling. And the feeling, once again, goes with playing with fire. Okay, so seems like we're out of checks, so we're going for the fun part. We're going for visual checks.
So one other thing that we should mention is when items are sent between games, they are permanently sent, even if that player who grabbed the item resets. So if Jay was to find Reed's item in Burn Dome, it would be sent. Jay could safely reset. But since it's his own item, being the gravity suit, since he resets, it takes it away just like it normally would. So that allows us to do some like dangerous checks and hopefully send an item to our teammates and just reset it safely.
Okay. So every room is inside of a box. I said it. I'd give this out of bounds tutorial to Jeff if you want to do that.
Sure.
The main thing just to point out is I have one more check which I can grab after a save warp, so I'm doing this visual check and then we're one more logical check away from actually going into BK until I get the next major.
Yeah. So the way Prime rooms work is, yes, they're all inside of a box, and we can get outside of that box into the aether where the normal physics don't apply. We can move back in and out of the box and jump to oh, that's an unlimited missile, I believe, up there. Yeah. But as we're moving through the rooms, there are these load triggers that are invisible to us, of course, that you are required to hit to load the next room before transitioning, which you see Jay kind of jump on top of a door to switch the rooms. So we have to know all of these invisible load triggers for every room that we want to traverse, as well as how to properly move through the rooms through the collision, because it's sometimes not very forgiving. We don't have some places you can stand on. Others will kind of be sticky, and we need bombs and morph to kind of help us move around, which of course Jay doesn't have, so he has to be careful.
So, good news. There's an ice beam.
Oh, no.
Ice Beam is such a good upgrade. Why that reaction?
Okay, so the good news is I have access to 70% of my game. The bad news is I have access to 70% of my game and no bombs. Oh no! I see the quirk the seed has and I don't like it. So we know... that knowledge actually gives us nothing. We know that best case scenario bombs can't be in frigate. What is in... Actually, Ice Beam doesn't really do much logic-wise right now. But it makes me have more options to what I can do out of logic.
Yeah, I still think we're looking for Spider, Grav, or Bombs for you to have much in logic.
Yes.
You need a Twin Fires item.
Either one of those... Why am I doing this way? Either one of those will blow open my available checks for sure. Because one major difference between the world design from Echoes and Prime is Echoes has a lot more Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, Bombs. That's a good item.
Prime bombs.
That's helpful. I like those.
Of course they're an overgrown cavern. Where should they be? So, the main difference is Echoes has basically elevators between every region, so you can go from Aegon into any region, but you could also go from Torvus into any region. Prime regions are locked behind each other. The bigger issue between Prime and Echoes, or the bigger difference is, Prime's beams are restricting way more areas than Echo's beams. So without Wave Beam, you could say you have about 30% of the game accessible. With Wave, you have about 50%, and then there's like another 40% coming in if you have Ice Beam. Means right now my game world has opened gigantically. We have access into a new area, which we can nearly full clear. We can nearly full clear Chozo. Oh boy.
I forgot that I still have SJ, so I'm gonna try to see if maybe I can see what's on the ship. Because getting
Oh
up
no.
to the top of the ship.
No. Oh, that's actually horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just jump on some collision. Alright, so we're gonna orphan that for the moment.
I'm here making another point of no return play, but will be bailed out by the fact that there is a save station at the end of this, so we can just save warp safely to start. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jay?
I am probably going to stick around in Chozo for now and push into Fen afterwards. So the main issue right now is Reed will soon come at the border where we need space jump. Or Echoes need space jump.
I'm getting pretty close. Or
Um,
a beam of some kind.
Doesn't matter. Mess it up. The main thing now is, because I just got bombs and ice beam back to back, there is a gigantic amount of checks opened up. But ice bombs were logically locked behind ice, so I'm trying to go for more bomb checks right now.
Oh, that's a perfect missile expansion. You only had 4 missiles before.
I was confused why the super didn't shoot, yeah.
Hey, I got you. So, without beams, without space jump,
Emerald.
without emerald. Oh, nope, just kidding.
No, I can't do Elder Chamber.
And I just left GF from Missy so I could get that.
Yep.
Secret tunnel. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I tried to not say it. That is a multiplayer pickup. So, Baha, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so there are a couple custom upgrades, not from the vanilla game that Randomizer has put into Echoes, which are actually pickups from the Echoes multiplayer version. These include double damage, which will double all the damage Reed does, unlimited beam ammo, and unlimited missiles. So we've already actually seen now the unlimited missiles as well. That was that giant missile chilling at the top of Dynamo. Yep. Jay scouted from out of bounds. Only the unlimited beam ammo remains.
I wasn't able to pick it up, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would have needed boost ball. But I do see something that I want to have, and I'm going to get it.
So
this is heavily out of logic.
Oh,
This
nice
is heavily
try.
out of logic, but I would like to keep this.
That was nice. That was nicely done.
Yeah.
So
I don't
since
know
I
why.
just left here, now that I have emeralds, I'm gonna go back and check this hint.
Question is, do I do Zoid again? Because there is a second check behind Zoid that I wasn't able to get on the first pass.
It's true.
And I do want that gravity suit damage reduction. So honestly, I think we do.
That is another big difference between Prime and Echoes is how the suits work. Baha or Jeff, would you like to talk about that?
Sure. So in Prime One, so first off, the suits in Prime One have had their abilities kind of separated from each other. So in Vanilla, if you picked up the Gravity or the Phazon suit, you would have heat resistance. In Rando, to make that so that Varia suit actually has some utility relative to the other ones, only Varia will give you heat protection. The other suits will no longer do it. Similarly, only Gravity gives you underwater movement, and then Phazon is required for the end of the game. Also, each of the Prime suits gives you damage reduction, so they'll essentially increase your effective health pool, whereas in Echoes, they do not. In Echoes, all the suits do is limit the damage you're going to take from the atmosphere of the Dark World, and some of the various hazards that deplete even more health.
Light
So
suit
was
also
that
has
hint
the. I was gonna say light suit also has the benefit of allowing you to access the beams of light for transportation and a few checks.
Yep. As well as get underneath the dark water of the Dark World.
Yes. So that hint read. What was it?
That was a beam and storage D.
Smells vanilla.
Yeah, there is a beam and storage D in the vanilla game.
Had to just kind of take a look at that for a minute and go,
Now the bad thing would be if that's plasma.
Right. No, I think it was my beam, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
Y'all mind if I jump in and say a few words?
Sure.
By all means.
Alrighty, so as a reminder, welcome everybody to the FFR Rando Marathon here on Final Fantasy Randomizer. We are raising money for the Liam Foundation, and I just wanted to take a second to talk about some incentives and prizes you could win. You can actually see the prize set on screen there, but the day prize for today is a calligraphy set. You can get that, or at least get in for that, for a minimum donation of $20. And as far as incentives that are moving forward, we have our next open incentive is the randomized levers for the Hollow Knight randomizer coming up this evening. That is empty out of $80, so we need 80 to fill that. Then for the FFR and FF Mystic Quest randomizer Archipelago coming up after that, we have a few different incentives. You have naming incentives for both games. The FFR names, you have 4 characters and 4 character maximum for each of those names. And then for Mystic Quest character, you've got an 8 character maximum for what is supposed to be Benjamin's name. You also have an FFR Mystic Quest character bid war. The 4 different characters who can accompany Benjamin, or whoever you choose to name Benjamin to be. You have Tristan, Phoebe, Ruben, and Kaylee, and currently Kaylee has $20, and the other 3 have no money, so if you want to put money toward any of those, you have a pretty good chance of being able to decide which character is going to be taken and which name is going to be had. So please make sure to get those donations in, and we appreciate every dollar that y'all are able to give to help out the Liam Foundation.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, be sure to get those donations in. Pretty good incentives.
Trying to puzzle over. Because Emerald doesn't really open anything. Other than that one hint right now.
Okay, I feel like this is a good moment to talk about what I'll have to do. So outside of this box that we said, every room can be found inside of a square box, which will align with the outsides of the room.
Good hint first read.
I'm just
What was the hint?
the mining station A hint is that a super missile can be found in Aegon Waste, mining station A.
Wow. It's honestly amazing. Thank you, Randy.
Go for
So
the bomb jumps here. Nice.
inside of the box, Gravity will be working on Samus and will pull Samus down. While outside of the box, Samus will slowly start to float up until basically getting inbounds or getting into the box again. While Samus is outside of the box, if I enter the box and jump within the first 3 frames, Wow, I just got that first try.
Nice.
I can basically get a jump and go back outside of the box, which we call ether jumps. Now, what I did there was the game currently thinks I am in training chamber access. In the meantime, I'm physically in training chamber, meaning the collision is not completely working as it's intended. So what I did is what we call a ceiling warp to get that graph boost early out of the way, and I don't have to come back for it later on. And Reed can just keep in mind it's out of logic till I have boost and spider.
So
But
what
yeah,
I'm-
actually, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what I'm doing here is technically out of logic for the tricks that we're on, but I'm trying to puzzle my brain over and see if there's anything else I can really do without space jump, and I don't think there's much.
Yeah, this is probably the best play I can think of as well. But yeah, these are some tricky bomb jumps. There's a lot of horizontal distance to cover, so we have to kind of ladder the bomb jumps by laying the air one farther forwards, but still making it back to land to go forwards again to get hit by the bombs. Much more precise than trying to just bomb jump straight upwards. But we're going to give it a go here. This would get us up into Central Mining Station and Command Center area. Looks like Jay is heading towards the Lava Lake elevator.
Yep. We have pretty much anything we can do in Chozo done. Actually, no, there's one more check I want to get before I hot dog anything.
Just
I would
saying,
like
my
to not
space jump
keep
is behind
the-
Zoid, I'm gonna be very angry.
It's not behind Zoid, it's not behind
Okay.
Zoid. I did Zoid. But I didn't get the lower Rune Shrine one. And technically I could go to get you both Dark Fist
Yo,
and
let's go.
Nice done.
Nice! Really nice, let's go Reed.
Nicely done. But yeah, going back to earlier, so we saw that hint that said a super missile is in Mining Station A. So even though that's kind of a thanks game hint about J's super missile, it does actually tell us the fact that it used the word A instead of the super missile does mean that Reed has his own super similar. So even though that hint was kind of useless, it actually does give us a little nugget of information if you pay very careful attention to the wording.
Alright,
Unfortunately,
now for
this bomb jump is even more difficult than the other one.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, they're advanced in the trick database.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all of the various tricks in the database are rated kind of on a scale of difficulty. So you have beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, and hyper mode, which are essentially the tricks that nobody wants to do, even if you know how to do them. And so,
And I
yeah,
know
again,
one person. One person will strongly disagree.
Hypermode tricks are there for completeness. It is possible, but
Now, to put it into better words, hypermode tricks are categorized as those because they are unfair or very luck-based, in comparison to expert tricks, which are very hard but have consistency over them.
Yep, and every trick type you can customize which level, so it allows beginner players to slowly ramp up the various trick logic with what they become comfortable with. If they know where to stand in the game, they can bump standables up, but keep scan dashing low if they're not comfortable with dashing. Because one other thing to mention with the Prime games is if it looks like you can stand on it, you can probably stand on it.
So, good news, vanilla Dark Beam odds have increased by 33%.
I like that, and that light beam actually gives me something else I can go check, which is with Seekers, I can go check the Hall of the Elders, or not Hall of the Elders, but
You can also
Hall of Honor Dead.
You can also break into Sank now. Show off some areas.
And break into Sank, because I have
yeah.
Spider and Bombs. That's actually a much better
Spider's
idea.
treasure.
Thank you.
Samus also sometimes just doesn't feel like going into multiple tunnels. This is the first time and it won't be the last time today. So here we're doing what you saw there with me instantly going back to like fully standing is what we call a instant unmorph. It happens when we can obstruct the camera in a way that it can't show the animation of Samus unmorphing, so it just skips it. It saves about a second and is a lot easier in Echoes than it is in Prime.
Also has a lot more applications in Echoes than in Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a quite commonly useful class of tricks that abuses the instant unmorph, as well as another mechanic of both games, which is coyote time, where basically if you go into a falling state, you have a few frames where you can input a jump, kind of a really common game development thing to make platformers feel more fair, even though technically the game is cheating on your behalf. And what we can do is we can do a bomb jump up against a wall, get an instant unmorph that puts us into the standing state quickly enough that we are allowed to input a jump and basically get the combined heights of a bomb jump and a regular jump and clear some vertical distances that we would otherwise be unable to.
So it's time for my favorite area of the game. We're getting very, very chill music as well. So hey.
Yeah, Fen went 2 for 2 on the music tracks. Both
Yeah, it did.
very good. Although lower sank here, I do enjoy a good lower sank. I kind of wish that the lower sank music played in more of sank. Really, just these couple rooms.
Is it really different soundtracks? I never noticed.
Yeah, the like sank entrance to Hall of Combat Mastery basically has like a much more active soundtrack, and then it's more subdued when you're upstairs.
Okay, either Spider or Boost will be required, Reed.
Yeah, Fen Shorelines, we knew this was an artifact, but this item actually has 2 locations, one behind ice and one up in that lighthouse. So this confirms which of those sets of items we need.
Pizza, don't underestimate things you can do in this game without Spider. The only item in this game that hard requires me to have Spider is Root Fountain. There is a very fun trick that you would require Boost Ball for otherwise.
How badly do you want that grapple beam, Reed?
Right now, not that badly. Whenever we get Space Jump, I'll think about it. But at this exact moment, nah. I'm not. I don't want it badly enough to do the puzzle vanilla.
Yeah, there's a very tedious puzzle to get that Hall of Combat Mastery item that we just looked at. But with Space Jump, there are several strategies you can use to basically skip the entire puzzle and save yourself like well over a minute.
At least.
And grapple is a very marginal value once Space Jump and Screw Attack show up. So I'll often get away with just not worrying about it.
Before Space Jump Rando game.
I never do that to you.
No, you wouldn't. That sounds like what you do. So something we haven't really discussed about Prime yet is Prime has a thumb rule, basically, in which we say if something looks standable, it probably is, meaning there's a lot of collision, and the devs were so friendly to make a lot of collision in this game standable, and I can abuse that to make this game basically my playground in terms of standables. Which we just had, like, especially in the vertical rooms, this really comes to, like, notice how much of standables there is actually when I'm starting to, like, climb walls simply on standables.
We don't necessarily point them all out, but yeah, if you just kind of watch how Jay moves through some of these rooms, you'll see just lots of little optimizations, save time, standing on things that might not be vanilla. Oh, we're going to get another visual peek here.
A bit more to the left.
I'm just gonna recharge.
I think you're looking too far left, actually.
Uh-oh. Missile.
Tries.
Okay.
There we go. Speaking of missiles and supers, Reed picked up his own supers in Echo's room name I can't remember.
I got you. It's color chamber.
There we go.
And I'm just gonna regen just a little bit of health here before I go to go talk to our friendly Metroid over there. And don't worry, I am doing the same thing today.
Hazing Cliff.
Hazing Cliff, thank you. Thank you
Yep.
so much. It's been a long week.
Yeah. So yeah, this room Reed's about to enter does have a check, but there are no safe zones in that room, and we are taking 6 damage per second. There's also a friendly little Metroid who will show up as we do our in and out mission. Can also be a bit of a troll, so we're playing it safe. Have a little bit of extra energy.
A friend of mine once taught me, and I will never forget it, and I will always do it. This is one of the only doors in the game that you can open with a missile.
Yeah.
Even if he's not here today, I'm thinking of him, and he teach me a lot in this game. So lots of gratitude towards him. Oh god, that's not a good sign. Hey Reed, have you heard of Echo Space Jump on OP?
Oh, you're kidding.
I found my main PVs. That's logical entrance.
Oh, cannon.
Let's
I'm
go to the other
leaving that
side.
there for now, just in case. It would be nice to have, but I will leave cannonball there.
Okay, fine. We go the same way. So there is a very fast backups. There is a very fast strat in which you can just take the ice cap and dash off of it into the item. Otherwise, if you have space jump, you could just jump up the platforms. If you don't have SJ, however, you have to take the puzzle and do this room vanilla. Ah, damn it, I thought the distance might be enough.
So I'm just gonna hang out, regen just a little bit of energy. At least to get out of.
I guess we could talk a little bit about the drop system in these games. Echoes has a much friendlier drop system than Prime 1. It actually looks at your current inventory state and tries to give you what you need the most. If you're out of missiles, it'll give you 10 missiles. If you're out of power bombs, it'll give you 10 power bombs. If you're below 20% health, it'll give you a 100 energy drop. And I say it will give you. What I mean is it has an 80% chance of giving you it, which is pretty likely, but also very once in a while will troll you and let you die because you were counting on getting a bunch of energy.
I don't know
just
what you're talking about.
Just
Wouldn't happen.
to slightly correct Baja. I wish it was 10 power bombs, but no, it just gives you 1 power bomb.
Oh, did I say 10?
Yeah.
10 missiles. 10 missiles.
10 missiles, 1 power bomb.
Yep. Prime, on the other hand, everything is fixed. And everything is fixed to never give you a power bomb when you need it, because that is how Murphy's Law works.
There is
Yeah.
there is certain
Prime-
rooms that have a guaranteed drop, and especially in lower mines, powerbomb drop rates become a lot better because the game is more aware of you actually needing them. But then there is rooms where you would need a PB to get an item. Well, Prime will do what Prime can do, which is nothing.
That was a really fast pirate fight. The 2-for-1 ice shot was pretty sick.
It has cost me some time to get them consistently, like, from the timing to get them into one position.
Hmm.
So this is where the game has a bit of a downfall. It is by far my most hated region of the game. Simply because there's a lot of clutter at once, and pirates can be very stressful over time, especially on low energy. Means I need to move a little bit more careful and thoughtful with my energy. Luckily for me, those are MK2 turrets, meaning I can freeze them with Ice Beam and they will never unfreeze, basically. They will never thaw up. This is a blessing that I will not have for the entire playthrough, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go take a quick safety save just in case this isn't Dark Beam, because if it isn't, there's no very good way for me to get out of this room. We're gonna go in through backdoor labs, because I do not have space jump, much less sprint.
mean, you have a spider.
Yeah, but trying to reload the room after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, spider alone isn't enough, unfortunately, because those spider tracks aren't active. So yeah, so we do have access to the Dark Samus 1 fight and the Vanilla Dark Beam, which we do know has a beam. But yeah, as Reed was saying, as it stands, if it's not the Vanilla Beam, it would be a soft lock. So I'm gonna make a save here.
Okay, the
Jay.
reason why I went so careful there, as we've already heard, the Prime games work on a layer base, meaning certain items or certain events can trigger a layer change in other regions. And I went so careful there to skip a fight trigger that A would start a very long pirate fight here in the control tower. And B, there was also the Coyote jumps Baha mentioned. The IUJ. And B, this fight will trigger a lot of flying pirates in Magma, and I like my Magma without my space pirates. Makes the room a lot less lethal, to say the least.
Yep,
Hello, Metroid. Goodbye, Metroid.
Both of these games have a number of triggers that set layer changes in rooms that'll change the types of enemies you have to encounter. Some are fixed to having items in your inventory, some are fixed to picking up certain locations, and some are fixed to triggering certain events or fights and stuff like that. So learning kind of how, at least for the ones that matter, what triggers what can be useful to avoid things that you don't want.
Remember how we were talking earlier, Jay, about that 1 hour space jump?
I'm trying. I'm going as fast as I can. Which is fast, considering I'm playing Prime.
Yeah, it was like, you're playing Prime. It's exceptionally fast because Scan Visor is a movement system.
Well, nearly overshooting the doorbell is not fast. I should probably not do that. So here we have the music swap. We are reaching into the way trickier to move around region of Pendrana, being far fen, meaning a lot of the rooms here will be submerged or need special stalactites if you don't know how to move around quickly. But some good air jumps and some good dashes will help you to get around quickly. Besides of one of the single most hated rooms in the game coming up right now.
I know where you're going.
That was not a good angle.
Yes, Prime, compared to Echoes, has a lot of very tall vertical rooms. And Prime also has the lovely limited influence where we either press the right trigger or we fall off of a ledge without jumping. Jay will lose complete control of Samus.
Let's go, Dark Beam.
So falling in tall rooms in Prime is very costly.
Why
Yes,
are you getting so much
congratulations,
intense?
I still don't have a suit, and I now have both beams, so a lot more is open to me as far as checks.
True.
We have our first encounter with Dark Samus. Hi, Dark Samus. Bye, Dark Samus. Oh.
Echoes and its very fast boss fights, eh?
Yep, power bombs being a quite late game upgrade. Devs did not expect you to have access to them. They did leave some of the vulnerabilities in.
I am sorry, buddy, but you'll have an oops all beams in a second. So this is a quite tricky jump, which basically combines multiple tricks. We have a slope jump into a R jump to skip the plasma and grapple requirement for this item. So, Reed, just as a heads up, your Annihilator is logically locked by my plasma.
Yeah. Alright, so all beams, bombs, power bombs, echo visor, new space jump.
Sounds like a perfect time to go Taurus, doesn't it?
Yeah?
Good too much that can happen in Torvis NSG, though. Unfortunately.
But there is also not that much happening inside Destiny.
Very fair. Very fair.
I don't know if that's the right message. Oh no! Speaking of limited influence. So yeah, limited influence is kind of a double-edged sword because on one side it's one of the reasons why I can go so fast. On the other side, it's one of the reasons. Yes, thanks for proving my point. It's one of the reasons why I can go so far down. And it really tries to be nice. Okay, I got one of them. That's enough for me. Flicker bets. There's two kinds of people. People that hate flicker bets and liars.
I can bomb jump on those, I think.
Am I just out of logic?
I don't care for the fact that I have 6 E-tanks before suits.
There are some fun damage runs you can do in the Dark World. Yeah, so Dark Aegon is pretty littered with safe zones because they expect you to be suitless in this area, given the first suit is on the final boss of Aegon. But that stops being true in the other regions. We start taking a lot more Dark World damage if we need to do Dark Torvis or Dark Sync.
Your boost ball. In logic.
Nice. Okay. Heck yeah.
Okay, time for my real favorite boss in the game.
Boost ball, thankfully being
Hi,
Echo's quickest way of getting around. Most cases will speed up Reed's gameplay quite a bit.
So, this is Thaddeus, our favorite bunny made out of rock. Thaddeus usually uses a combat mechanic in which you have to pull up the thermal visor to see a weak spot and damage it enough so that it would become visible in combat visor. But we can also destroy the rocks that are vulnerable to thermal with bombs by themselves, and that will do the job quite good. Now, what's not that good is that we only have 10 missiles. That's gonna be an issue.
You still at... Okay, no, I just thought you were still at 10. I'm like, oh goodness.
No, I'm not on 10. I just only have 10.
Okay.
Let's see if I get this timing. I did not. Unfortunate.
Cobalt, okay.
So if you see any missile expansions and you're like, you could pick them up, well, go for it.
Where'd that Metroid come from? Okay.
Okay. Sure.
And he's gone.
And
Where's...
you know, I have all the items as to where my space jump could very well be in Storage C.
Vanilla Storage C. Yeah, normally this is skipped by either just screw attacking over this door or there's a scan dash you can do with space jump. Scan dashing does still exist in Echoes. It's not quite as powerful as it is in Prime, but it's good enough to get the job done here. But yeah, a rare vanilla fighter boost puzzle here.
Care if I jump in with a donation while you're exhorting the love of vanilla?
Go for it.
All right, $25 from Lord Fizzlebeef that says, not sure which I love more, the Metroid or the multi-world. Put this toward randomized levers in Hollow Knight. Thank you, Fizz.
Wow. Why can't it be both?
Of
4K
course,
no los
Panda.
dos.
Now this is a comical freeze frame of both of you
Yeah.
just staring at an item.
Of course.
So,
Okay.
Spider on Darkness or a Space Chef on Storage She? Which which do we have feelings about first?
Wait, was it Echoes SJ on stage?
Yep.
Oh my Baha!
Locked behind.
You
Locked
got there
behind.
eventually. It only took an hour and 7 minutes.
Okay,
So
I'm
that
very
is-
happy. I'm very happy that I made Thaddeus play.
So yeah,
I
what
will-
was on Rocky?
The plasma.
Oh wow.
So you have fun. I just go full clear.
Yeah, no, enjoy.
There's nothing blocking Jay now, except for I guess X-ray from OP. But yeah, Jay is going to be schmoovin' for the rest of this.
There was a small amount of panic in the commentator DMs going back and forth. Jay, please stop falling and get this boost ball before Reed leaves labs. It would have been tragic. So Echo's SJ was locked by Light Beam and Dark Beam and Supers and Boost and Spider. just like 6 things. It's fine.
We also had a bit of a panic because we thought maybe we could get away with it if Reed picked up Cannonball in Hazen Cliff, and then you were like, "This will be fine. I'll leave this till later." And it's just like, it's like hopefully Jay finds that boost then.
So Cannonball does not give you logical access to that. Have we talked about Cannonball yet?
We've not.
No.
So Cannonball is technically an item that the game gives you when you enter a morph ball cannon, and then it takes it away from you when you bonk into something at the end. So typically the game doesn't actually expect you to have this item for any like significant amount of time, only a few seconds. And what it does is it makes you invulnerable, it makes you deal tons of damage to everything, so that basically when you're flying through the air, you're going to just obliterate all the enemies on the way. However, in vanilla speedrunning, we can do some tricky stuff to avoid bonking into the thing at the end of the cannon, and therefore keep the cannonball's item attached to us, and therefore we have all the amazing benefits of being invulnerable, having a free, basically, boost ball. But then also, since it's an item, Randovania therefore has access to it, and typically in our presets we shuffle one of them into the item pool. So you can just get yourself the cannonball state for free if you find the copy of it. The downside is it is a limited item. It still has the same constraint of when you take a cannon and bonk into the thing at the end, the game's going to take Cannonball away from you, and that's why it's not logically considered. It's because it's losable, and you could theoretically lock yourself out of items if the game was expecting you to do things with Cannonball. Yeah, that is an option for Reed to go back and get that at his leisure.
I'm just kind of
Also-
waiting. I'm waiting to hear about Chica.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Okay.
this just quickly, this zoomer here is a hero that saved a lot of my 80% runs because he has a 100% guarantee to drop a PB. So that's a perfect example of like Prime drop system having certain locations for good drops. But yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Nope, that was about the extent of my explanation. But yeah, so that explains why Reed was hesitant to pick up the cannonball earlier, because without space jump and screw attack, we're a bit more limited in how we can move, which means we're a bit more reliant on the morph ball cannons in certain places, and therefore we might have to give up that cannonball if we take it early. Whereas if we wait a little bit until we have better movement items, we pretty much never need to use morph ball cannons anymore because we have enough items to skip all of the places where they're required.
So
Dependent on a boss, whether or not it's required, I would like to have Cannonball just for speeding that up quite a bit.
Indeed.
unfortunate. We're going for the gamble. So this is where I already said where I'm losing the pleasure of turrets not getting out of the ice. And also this is where drop rates go to hell. We have entered the most late game area for Prime, meaning enemies are going to be a lot tougher to defeat. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna take a bit of damage here. Okay. It better just be vanilla. I hope the other thing right next to it isn't vanilla.
That would be funny.
That would be terrible.
Well, funny for me, I guess. Yeah.
So enemies in this area will do a lot more damage and will come in a lot more special ways. Meaning we get enemies that are basically hard-coded to one type of beam, and with that also deal more damage or can stun you, can we're going to take a lot of damage wise. We're not good on E-tanks. Let's say it like this. We have 3 E-tanks, which means I am at my comfort in general. Though this area will take damage.
You got 2 suits. You're okay.
Yes, but I will have to do upper mines first because I don't have boost ball.
Oh.
Which means we're going to do a very fun. Oh god. Okay.
Reed, meanwhile,
Jeff.
living the dream with double. Oh, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, this is good.
Jeff
Honest,
might want to
explain
explain.
Elite Pirates.
Oh yeah, so Elite Pirates, they have their trigger for going aggressive is when they look at Samus directly. They have terrible turning speed, so if we just strafe around them constantly, they will never lock eyes with Samus, and therefore they will never go aggressive, and we can just spam missiles. And this is the same for every single Elite Pirate variant, the Phazon Elite, and the Omega Pirate. So we will be abusing that fact several times throughout the run.
And we're also coming up on one of the probably most complicated tricks I'm going to do today. This is a major difficulty barrier in any percent named spiderless shafts. This is a spider track. I don't have spider balls, so I have a, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it is a 21 frame window once I leave the ground to get an instant unmorph and input a jump, which we can abuse to land on very paper-thin standables to make our way up those 2 shafts, which is hard, very hard.
So this is the trick I was talking about earlier that combines the coyote time with the instant unmorphs. It is much more difficult in Prime 1 and situational because the camera is a lot harder to obstruct, to force it to give you an instant unmorph. Because if you don't get an instant unmorph, the unmorphing animation takes a second, so 60 frames, which is more than the window you're going to have to jump once you leave the ground. Have to get both the instant unmorph and quickly input a jump, and get a good bomb jump, and get a good space jump, and land in the right place, and then you get the trick. It's just easy as that, right?
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay, so we have the first 2 jumps. Now here's where it gets funky. We're hugging the wall, and we're hoping to land on the standables that we need, and we got it. Okay.
Nicely done. That is not easy, and Jay made pretty quick work of that.
Now we're going to abuse another tricky jump to be able to peek this item early, even if I have grapple.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do have grapple, so
And now, given that I still lack a morph ball upgrade that'd be pretty useful, we have to take a long way around. Say hello to Ivan. He's chilling. He doesn't really feel the way of engaging combat. He just chills there until you go into a trigger box, which we never have the risk to go in there. We never have to. So he will just chill there the entire run until another layer for ore processing will be triggered.
Reed being a good friend here, gonna do an optional fight here just to get Jay an energy tank.
Well, that's lovely.
3 tank mines, even with 2 suits, is painful. So I've got you, buddy.
So, this is something we haven't seen before, haven't used before. This is the thermal conduit. Usually, the game and also the logic expects me to have thermal visor here to see that there is a hidden mechanism in the wall which needs to be powered by wave beam. Since I know where those spots are, I can out of logic power them and get the items locked behind them. Oh, I'm getting another E-tank. Even though this slope jump is a bit trickier. And I personally have a history with the slope jump. And there we go.
Slope jumps, just being jumping into a slope, adds a portion of Samus's vertical momentum to the jump, allowing us to jump considerably higher. In, I believe it's the same. I don't know if it's the same in Echoes, I guess, but when we're underwater, there's some slight different physics where it's definitely more pronounced if we don't have the gravity suit with the slope jumps. Is it the same in Echoes? Do they have like extended underwater slope jumps?
Not really.
Not
Um,
overly.
Not as strong, but still existing, I'd like to say. Like, you can still feel that you can jump certainly higher if you're, like, against the wall and you're pulling away underwater. But I don't really feel like Echoes has that as much as Prime, where you can, like, reach space jump height with just a normal jump. Also, I left something that we call a pivot save there in Mines, because we're going into a normally very slow area, but because I can do it in reverse and I have gravity suit, this is going to be much quicker work.
Care if I jump in with another donation?
Please do.
Sure.
Alrighty, $25 from Sprockets Dance. No comment, but thank you very much, Sprockets. I will mention that we, of course, are taking donations for the Liam Foundation. They can go to any number of various incentives in Hollow Knight Randomizer, the FFR, FFMQR Archipelago, and other events coming up later this evening. And of course, also my personal incentive, if we get more than $100 during my hosting block, y'all get to see me wearing a hat. So just make sure to get the donations in for the charity, the incentives, and the hat wear, because it's a lot more fun when I've got hats on my head.
Now, this is where we reach the peak of musical content in Prime. This is probably by far the least visited area in Rando, because it has 3 tracks, each of them is very slow, and each of them usually doesn't have that much progression. But we do have the best soundtrack, in my opinion.
Frigate Crash Site?
The Frigate in general. I'm
Yeah.
doing the Frigate real quick. I can actually get all 3 items in here, and currently they are not logical until I either get Spider Ball or I get Thermal Visor to go in front. But the good thing about me taking a pivot save there is, as long as there's no item for me in here, but only for Reed, I can take the items out of Frigate and just save warp, or basically just reset the Wii to go back into my starting position. Which is also something we haven't really discussed so far, is while Reed is playing on an emulator, on the Dolphin emulator, I am playing this on hardware, on a console. So
right.
I am playing this on Wii, which is really cool, and I love that it's able. I love that I'm able to actually play on hardware, and I hate that I have to reset out this E-Tank.
Oh,
Man, the game is just not feeling it for me today.
What are you thinking now in terms of routing? Now that you've got some items to your name, Reed.
so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the Dark Labs Loop here in Nagon. And then I think heading over to Torvis, since I have Gravity Boost, is probably going to be our next best bet.
Yeah, seems good. Luckily, we
Sweet.
have every translator, so that does mean we have some hints available to us. SDK hints actually as well available.
Yep.
Um,
I'd like a suit, but I think with 6 tanks, we should be able to do it and at least see them. I don't think I'll make it out of there on 6 tanks, but we should be able to at least visit and see what hints are.
yeah, I would agree. I think you got enough to at least get the hints. And so yeah, so another kind of different feel for Prime 1 versus Prime 2 is that the Prime 1 hints are available pretty much immediately, whereas the Echoes ones are actually gated by a decent amount of items, so it's only closer to the mid-game that you figure out where you need to go and potentially what extra items to your pace requirements to beat the game that you're going to need to grab all of the remaining keys.
Jay, I've got unlimited beam ammo, so you can skip any beam ammo expansions if you want to.
Alrighty, good call.
Yeah,
So,
both players.
this room... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, both of you got your most overpowered weaponry here. You've got the plasma beam, which kind of melts everything in Prime 1. Reed is sitting with double damage, infinite ammo Annihilator beam. With Annihilator having really good DPS, but kind of high ammo consumption, making it kind of hard to use. But when you have infinite ammo, you just mash that button and kill everything.
Unfortunately, I did not get that double damage. That was one that Jay, I think, missed.
No, I gave it to you.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
I got that.
That's right, I'm not...
Crossway.
They fixed the quote-unquote glitch where you flash red now. I forget about that.
So this is the area in which we start to have beam-specific pirates, meaning those were wave pirates, and they're only vulnerable to wave beam, which will hardly change how I can fight certain enemies. Meaning, ice pirates, for example, will be a lot quicker fights because I can freeze them and then basically splash them with one missile. Wave pirates will be taking a long time to go down, but they can be stunned with wave beam. Plasma pirates will have a huge DPS, given they shoot plasma beam, basically, and will be harder to kill, but die fast, because plasma does a lot of damage. And then there's power pirates. I have super missiles, I'm not too worried about them. They die one shot to a super, which costs 5 missiles, so that's a fair trade.
Here's again us taking advantage of the elite pirate mechanics. Philip going down quite quickly there.
Have Dark Visor read.
That's all visors, all beams. So I think everything but screw attack at this point.
Now, we had a mentor tournament some time ago, and something one of my mentees and one of my best friends taught me is there is a lot of turrets in this room where we just fought the Phasing Elite, and there's wave beam pirates. But if we pick up the item that's on the Phasing Elite, this triggers a layer change, as we already spoken about. And with this, I can get rid of the turrets and the beam pirates, which is actually pretty fast, considering you could otherwise very well go very far down. Again, this game and vertical rooms do not go well with each other, given that we have limited influence existing. Also, hi Calvin, bye Calvin. Now it's time for this fun.
We may say rip to Calvin, but the donations are going up.
All right.
Let's hear it.
All right, $30 from Classic Gamer 76 saying half goes toward naming the main character in FFMQR Liam this evening, and the other half to name a white mage, if any, in the FFR part KRK2 in honor of Kraken 2, who must love white mages / wizards, as he is always hugging them, and hats on Courant. Which we are $20 away from the first hat of my hosting shift. Thank you very much for the donation, Classic Gamer. We are continuing to raise money, and just keep on at it with the donations, and y'all keep on at it with the great gameplay and the great commentary.
Keep those donations coming, guys. This is an amazing cause.
So, Jeff, would you like to go ahead and explain what I'm doing here?
Do I want to explain this? the least interesting trick to look at. So Jay does not have boost ball, and this is a spinner that requires boost. But if we move the ball in a certain way, we rotate as if we had boost. So by repeatedly bashing the ball into the spinner, we can slowly but surely rotate the turret as we see it kind of spinning, but it takes many attempts, and you can get it moving like decently fast, but it is slow.
Okay, I've seen or picked up every PB expansion in the game. There should be no more PB expansions for me, so if you get any more related upgrade hints.
Reed, did you remember the Dark Vein cache?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. I missed you. Must have missed you check it earlier.
The one that was there in
Yeah, in Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds.
Okay.
yeah, it was missile related item.
Ah, okay. So yeah, we don't care about that.
Okay, so this is where we enter a point of no return area. We're running out of checks that or we have run out of checks that we can do in upper mines. The upper mines loop is complete, so now we're going into the last area of the game, into lower mines, which has one issue. There is this good old room named Vent Shaft that would require us to have boost ball. Given that we don't have boost, this means this will be a one-way trip, and we will have to either save warp or I'll have to do something very funny to get out of there. Because at the very, very bottom of lower mines, there will be the Omega Pirate sitting and waiting for us. But that boss fight is only manageable to kill if we go in there with X-Ray. Oh, speaking of which... Oh, come on, Baha. Really?
X-ray and vent shaft.
Of course.
Of course.
What should be boost ball on OP? We need boost or X-ray to escape lower mines, so this X-ray already makes it no more being a point of no return. Which means, hey, we get another round the world fight because another elite pirate is on the way.
So I just thought about I finally have space jump. So before I head to Torvis, I am gonna go get that orphaned check at GFMC.
That should be my artifact.
Okay.
Let me double check, because if it's my artifact, you don't have to go for it right now.
Yes, I can confirm there is an artifact in GFMC.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
It was not in the correct
one.
I now also have everything for Sync entrance, which would be very rude for a place for boost.
So this is the cloak drone. It's invisible, that's hence the name cloak drone, but X-ray makes invisible things visible, who would have thought? So this fight gets a lot more trivial, given Plasma Beam and X-ray. Messed that up. The RNG. This is another RNG puzzle, or boss, you could say. And it's made by the same developer. Thank you, Zoid. So... right here we have a few checks in logic and lower mines, including the Omega Pirate, which would also get me into the area in which I will only have a very small amount of straight checks in each region left, given on how we got Echo Space Jump. How much missiles do I have? 13. I don't really want to use them on you guys. And I don't feel running through you guys without boosts is going to help. Okay, now in my opinion the worst room in the game. Hello, MQA.
Yeah, I agree.
There is a suit. You get Dark Suit.
Nice.
It was gigantic in the cutscene. I don't even need to take another look. That's a progressive suit.
Nah, this is the wrong Metroid quarantine. That's the worst. MQB is definitely the worst.
Nah. I mean, lower mines in general is just bad for people that want to try and go as fast as possible, but I have personal differences with this slope jump.
Well, maybe I can lighten things a little bit with another donation.
Hey, let's go!
All right, so $20 from Rax, saying got to get the hat started. So that'll bring us up to enough to, put a hat on my head. And I have plenty to choose from for anybody who maybe wasn't here yesterday. Some of the ones that didn't get used yesterday, Uncle Sam, Mario, Luigi, Dragon Quest Slime, Moogle. Let's see. I have Tom Nook, but any number of options.
Okay. So, given that we still don't have Spider Ball, this would be the last check Spider Ball could logically be in, everything in lower mines is going to be out of logic, and I'll have to do a bit complicated dash to get over here. There is multiple ways, but because I had to pick up that dark suit, it's just the easiest one to do. And now we are entering the lowest area of mines, which means we're going underground, and the so-called phazon is going to be everywhere, and also I won't be able to see in half of the rooms. Great. I got that much.
I mean, at this point, that's always what you need out of mines with, without phase on suit and everything else is, to make this better, not being able to see.
And also, I am glad this isn't Pell. I truly am, because I grew up on the Pell version, which Randomizer works with Pell, but one of the changes they made to Pell was every room in lower mines, if you go into the second pass area layer, so you basically backtrack through lower mines, every room in this area will have so-called fission Metroids, which are very, very annoying to fight and will only reappear, or only appear in the NTSC version, in the final boss area in the Impact Crater. PMT is dead. And this is the room where I need a visor. Plasma Beam Pirates making the first appearance here.
Nicely done. Good
Yeah.
dash.
And I'm running low on energy because Phazon and Plasma Pirates is not a good combination. So we are taking a safety save before going into what is, in my opinion, the hardest boss fight of the game, actually, if you don't know speed strats or random strats.
So, your spider is in Torpus.
That's good to know.
So, now that I found the light suits, I'm gonna go ahead and just head that way.
Yeah.
Should be absolutely no trouble with getting those SDK hints anymore. With Light Suit, we take no damage from the atmosphere.
Yeah, we are golden.
Pretty much just a hunt for screw attack.
So,
Jay would potentially like to.
Of course this happens in some... Okay, this is very unoptimal, but, well, here we are. Welcome to the Omega Pirate, where he likes to not let you shoot anything.
Yep.
Normally, if you don't mess it up, you can basically do the same thing you do with the Elite Pirates and just turn it... What? I won't even question it. This game... So, his plates are all destroyed and he's gonna call for help now. Which will now spawn a random variant of the Beam Pirates. Giving us Plasma Pirates, meaning they will die faster than we need them to. And I can now prepare for him to spawn in one of the phasing pits. We can manipulate him, meaning he will spawn in the one the furthest away from me. And he cannot spawn in the same pool twice, so I shoot 2 missiles here and then 1 super. And now I can stand next to this pool and I know he will spawn over here. I can just get ready with the next charge shot.
Yep. Never in the same pool twice, and then the one farthest away from you. So it's pretty easy to manipulate it. So you remove all the guessing from finding out where OP is.
Okay.
Key item.
Key item.
I get it.
Yeah, the Inghayu keys again being the pretty unimportant red keys for Echoes, given that with Annihilator you can just take the back door into the Quadraxis fight, and you don't need any of the keys that are required to access the fight from the front.
Now this means though that I have full clear my mines, which is very good because this is by far the slowest region full clear. And it does take some time to get all the checks done, especially on the energy management. So we are heading back into Fendrana and then into Chosen. And we'll have another taste of the if it looks damnable. Because I still don't have Spider, and this entire room is basically one gigantic spider ball track to take the upper door into Magmore again. Instead, we'll just climb the wall.
Game letting me know that I had a major upgrade in Sank Entrance, where I just came from. Thanks, game.
What was it? Was it your lightsaber?
That was my light suit.
Hilarious.
So I got dark suit and light suit in the same room.
Oh,
Reed on his way to go get the Sky Temple key hints.
Quick
Alright,
pit
I
stop
get
for
it.
an E-tank.
thank you. Enemies in this game have a unnecessary amount of knockback sometimes.
The snow cones in Fendrana are definitely the worst defenders.
Yes, for sure. Oh god, I jumped, but I held R for a second, so I got limited influence. There we go.
Are being the most powerful and also sometimes your worst enemy in Prime.
So there's one thing that I hate about about Fire Fendrana, which is there's one singular check that if you don't have plasma, you can't visual peek it, and it will just stick around there and wait for you to get plasma and come back.
Let's
You
get
can
ready
only
for
do-
Reed's hints.
We have Hive Temple,
Of course.
Vault,
That's not too bad. You need screw tech anyway.
Magma Pool,
I can grab that soon.
Dark Aegon Temple,
Of course.
Dark Tour of Serena, Airy, let's go,
Oh god, Baha.
Sentinel's Path, and
Oh god,
Binding Glove. Okay.
You know, that would be way worse if Echo would not have literally been alcove.
Right.
Like all those Echo lock checks, plus Airy, plus Hive Temple, plus Amorphous. Why is there no checker?
No Cheka. Unless, like, Boost or
Or Phazon suit.
Phazon Suits on Cheka, yeah.
just throw in. We do still need Phazon. So yeah, so we're looking
We
for
do still
Phazon
need
suit
Phazon.
and Screw Attack and 2 Amorbus keys. It's gonna be our go mode.
Baha, this was oddly specific that you immediately came up with
Huh?
Phazon suit.
Oh, I mean.
You wouldn't know by any chance what Phazon suit is in this, would you?
I mean, I do know, but I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That did sound suspiciously like one of those I know something you don't know.
I hate this specific R jump. I will probably never get the height out of this.
Just do the slope jump, Jay. Down right. There's a big slope right next to the door. Yeah, you're looking at it. No.
I have
This
a
works.
I have a standable that also works.
Hey, quads.
Oh, that was
Quad
the
has
save
sky tip
button.
P8.
Oh wow, did you know?
What a good hint.
Thanks, game.
Yeah, you've been getting almost. I mean, the dark beam hint was good, I guess, but
Dark beam hit was great.
Okay.
and maybe the suit hint would have been good in the universe where you hadn't already been to Sank entrance.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a storm coming for me, and I don't like what's coming next. So, Prime only has a very low amount of items left that could open any checks for me. Specifically, it being Boost Ball is the last item that locks life growth and plasma processing. While plasma processing is horrible to get without Boost Ball, and I still am not consistent with it and would most likely not go for it. Life growth is horrible, but I'm more consistent with it, so hey, guess I get to do that.
Maybe I'll find boost soon.
That soon did not sound like you're going to find Boost soon.
We're going to Torvis. Torvis always has the goods. We love Torvis.
Probably
Or at least
underground.
I love Torvis.
Probably
Oh,
underground.
yeah, true underground tunnel exists, yeah. Oh.
Underground tunnel always everything.
Plus, I mean, we just have a whole bunch of hints here that we haven't touched yet, so lots of info.
Surely the hints will eventually start being good.
Surely.
Yeah, just for our runners' information, one of the main selling features of this seat, to me, was the mining station A hint of itself.
That was a fantastic hit. I'm not gonna lie.
That really sold me when Baha and I were discussing these.
That reminds me of a Echo seed I played some time ago that had a. I think that was a seed that I raised. I don't. Was it the weekly seed? Well, it was something was in Mining Plaza, and then the Mining Plaza hint was a major can be found in Mining Plaza. Gee, who would have guessed, game? So yeah, the hints also like to be a double-edged sword, you could say. The hypes are all here. Time to go for the cutscene monster. Or go down.
No safety save before early wild. Just gonna go for it.
Yep. Just gonna go for it.
I believe.
Respect.
We know my spider's in Torvis anyway, so if I mess it up, the spider's coming up soon.
Sacrificial chamber has my scroll 10.
That's a good hint, at least.
That was a good
Yeah,
hint.
that is a great hint.
That
Pretty
is
close
one
to
of
phase
our
on suit,
remote
though.
items.
So I guess one thing we haven't mentioned, there is exactly one hint in Prime 1, which is if you get all your artifacts, defeat Ridley, and go into Impact Crater, there's a new scan point there, which will tell you which region your Phazon suit is in. So given that that's the last unknown, at the very least, if we collect all the artifacts from Jay, they will be able to get a hint of which region they need to be searching for Phazon if they don't run into it naturally.
Hello.
So Flagra, do you want to explain some of the things about this fight, Jeff?
Sure. So, for any people who are only coming from a vanilla background, Flagra has 4 morph ball bomb slots that need to be destroyed in order to defeat the boss, which is usually done by knocking a series of solar reflectors down that will kind of retract Flogra's tentacles from the morph tunnels. By just doing some dashes or jumping with SJ, we can go right beside the morph tunnel and bomb because the trigger is actually outside of the extends outside of the tunnel, and we can skip most of the fight.
Okay, now this is the only thing that could semi-remind you of the infinite bomb jumps in the original 2D Metroids is if we hold into a set collision, Samus will Samus will fall slower in more ball because of friction. So right here, I can manipulate my bomb timer, which usually takes 3 seconds to completely refill after I laid my first bomb, to infinite bomb jump up this tunnel, and I'm going to explain to you why we're doing this in a second. God, that bomb didn't connect, goddammit. Yes.
Very done.
So
Well
we could
done.
already see there was a Chozo Ghost. Sun Chamber is not only home of the Warrior suit in the vanilla game, but also the artifact of Wild, which you usually get by coming back later with Supers and Spider Ball. Since I'm missing Spider, we did something that we'd call Early Wild in the N% category, in which I triggered the layer, which is which is around the Spider track at the upper half of Sun Tower, and then bomb jump my way back up here.
Yeah,
Now I
normally you're going to fall way too fast for an infinite bomb jump to work with how the bomb reloading time works, but there's so much friction on that wall that you fall slowly enough that you can actually continually bomb jump your way back up.
Yes, the scary thing about that trick is that if you fall down, you will have to reset, do the Flogger fight over again, and attempt the trick again. So it's a one and done kind of thing. Thankfully, if you fall back onto the Oculuses, you can make another attempt, but sometimes they do not catch you properly.
Okay, now to this.
So yep, there's a gate here in Arboretum that we're supposed to have unlocked from the other side by scanning all the posts, or all the little, I don't know, what are those panels in this room, I guess?
Yeah.
But we can get over it from reverse by doing a little bomb jump over it.
That little bomb jump just sometimes doesn't like to cooperate as much as you'd like to. There we go.
Yeah, this, along with some other pieces of collision in this game, it's kind of a one-way-ish piece of collision where it interacts with Samus very differently if you're on the wrong side of it. It has the advantage that you can boost through it if you have boost ball. Unfortunately, Jay does not. And when you're trying to bomb jump over it, it actually makes it much more annoying because you'll like kind of stick to it.
Are you going for that unlimited missile?
No.
No.
I don't have boost.
That's right.
We are going. I didn't do the energy core puzzle. And I'm too lazy to do it now. So we're going for something that I do in Rando. We're going for puzzle skip, which again is a wall crawl out of bounds. And I landed on that exactly one piece of collision.
So this is a very powerful wall crawl in the vanilla category. Lets you get to the ice beam without needing wave or spider. And having ice before you go to Fen for the first time is very powerful, because those two beams collectively open up the world pretty widely, unless you kind of do things in whatever order you want.
But we're only going to do half of it, actually.
Yeah. Jay is just being lazy by doing the harder thing to skip this singular room's puzzle. There we go.
So what I did there is I hit the load trigger for this room's puzzle. Also, fun fact, we ride the splatter track. What I did there was I hit the load trigger and I jumped in front of the tunnel, so the tunnel loaded around me.
There's that spider ball.
Nice, now the morph ball is blue. Let's go. Sometimes do not understand why I'm not getting the height of a slope jump. There we go. Oh. I'm not even gonna look at it. Okay.
Stone toads helpfully are standable, and you can even get a little bit of a slope jump off of their spines, which lets you climb this room without needing to drain the water and boost in the half pipe.
I'm checking my safety save for this. The trick now coming up is one of the hardest early game tricks in the any percent route for PBBB, meaning power bombs before bombs, in which we would like to go into Light Grove to get X-ray early, but we don't have boost ball, and Light Grove Tunnel is a gigantic boost ball half pipe. So if you fall down there, there is only one way out of that down, and it's really, really bad. I'm gonna attempt it once, and then I'm going for my way of doing it. Also, I did not go by my muscle memory here. Oh no. Door cannot be opened with this weapon. Yes, but Great Tree Chamber was already checked. The only checks not visually checked by now are Pleasant Processing and the Life Growth area. We have seen or picked up any other. I love this game.
No power bombs? The seedlings will always
Yes,
drop
see,
one.
this one has a 100% chance. That's not good.
Oh,
One I don't
nope.
even need to attempt.
Nice.
We're in. Now this is where it gets... No, I just realized I have to... Oh no! I have to do this. Oh no.
We have another spinner manipulation here coming up.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is I
You
have
got gravity.
gravity.
Yep.
So this will be a lot more stupid than the first one.
It's a
And
lot harder, but at least it's not a one-shot.
Oh, no you don't. You don't have to do it.
Let's go, the clutch read.
Nice timing.
Oh, and that was even required. Let's go.
Nice.
We do need all three of those.
A lot of twos on the keys.
That's true.
Yeah, we are full twos.
I mean, I only want for like the last chick and the last Amorphous key to like turn up. Because that's our major roadblock right now. We don't know about Chica yet, and I have a very bad feeling about this, as a wise man once said. This is not good. Given how the rest of the SDKs are placed, I do not expect any mercy from Baha. Okay, so that lets me get my last item check.
The seed definitely a bit tougher on the Echoes player, which is a fairly common thing in this format, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Prime gets their wave and ice early, they often just are really far ahead of the Echoes player in terms of just sheer being able to complete their seed.
Especially with SJ being early.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes things rapidly fast because Prime gets all of the movement early in. And then the amount of checks per minute in Prime is like what feels like double as high as Echoes.
SJ early, that must be nice. That must have been
Yeah, what a
great.
concept.
Not locked behind 7 items. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, who wants that, right?
Oh, thank you, Puffer.
Ooh, nice PB, yep. Yeah, Boost Guardian, another one of these Echoes bosses that is really difficult long fight in vanilla, but is kind of trivialized if you can lay a power bomb correctly. Bit more difficult to get this quick kill with a power bomb than some of the other bosses. Oh, not quite.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
But it dealt a very good amount of health.
Yeah, with double
Yeah, we
damage, you should be able to get it after one more cycle here.
We have confirmation on your screw attack, right?
Yes.
yes.
It might be worth to hunt my artifacts down so we can play for the face and still can if it's not in plasma processing. Because I'd like to see where it is and why it is on Checker. Joke's on you, that Chica was just made by Baha. No, come on, there we go. This room, again, one of those gigantic horizontal rooms, or vertical rooms. This room has a jump that I'm going to attempt that's not as easy, but it saves a lot of time. Because
Interesting.
hidden above this ceiling that will rise in a second is a gigantic spider track puzzle that goes around this entire room. Of course, in the Metroid Prime for the Nintendo GameCube, we don't like slow. We like fast. So what we can do is, it still looks so weird that this platform is out.
Yeah.
It's so unusual. It's so unusual. Oh. Okay.
That's nice.
I really hard attack with that save. Would I please be able to get Eagle Jump?
This is another one of those combined slope jump into R jump tricks where the little ridge of that spider track is enough of a slope that we can get a bit of a vertical kick from it, and then we use the R jump to extend our horizontal distance.
Get the GSJ out.
Alright, so. Main research, sync temple access, mine shaft.
I will get this. Listen, plasma processing, there's nothing else for me to do anyway.
Yeah, you got time.
Why am I so bad at this today? I usually get this really fast. There is a safety backup or an easier strat that's just not as fast. Okay, plasma processing is dead. Now let me double confirm. Oh. I have not seen every item actually, Reed.
We are close to our screw attack for Reed here in Lower Torvis, which also does bring us into Sank.
There's one more item in my game that I have not visually peeked yet. And it was locked behind power bombs all around.
Yeah.
And then I guess I can do the cool strat for shorelines.
Yeah, might as well show it off. You got a minute.
Let's see, I'm at 4 artifacts. I should only have one more of my own. I can double confirm.
The shorelines.
I should only have shorelines left for myself. Yeah, your Sank Temple access. Oh no, my nursery I also need to pick up, but that's easier enough in a way.
Bit of a backtrack to go to Mine Shaft, but we'll go ahead and handle it.
Oh no.
Ooh, barely. Nicely done.
That could have backfired badly. Wow. Okay, I thought I've seen every PB expansion, but now I've seen every... Well, that's vanilla. That's lovely. Okay, shorelines, I'm coming. Not getting understandable.
Jay, you gonna break out the Nestroid any percent run when you are waiting for your last artifacts?
Be kind of funny, not gonna lie. But no, I unfortunately am not good enough in Metroid.
I would
Damn.
still absolutely, even if it was no logic, if it would randomize the Nestroid inside of yep, that was the thing that happened. It would randomize the Nestroid inside of Prime whenever we randomed. Yeah.
That would be
Okay,
funny.
so the item here in Shorelines is usually locked behind Super Missiles and Spider Ball. Let's say, for the sake of it, I still don't have Spider, even though I have. And I just have enough time to show this off. I don't think I'm gonna need a safety save. I didn't mess this up in a very long time. So I opened the gate down there. Oh yeah, Ridley. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a very hard dash to reach above the... to go semi out of bounds and reach a hole in the ceiling, which we can use to load temple entryway, I think the name's called. Yes, I'm good with names. And now I can hit my head against the wall, boost, and clip into the room again.
You boost through this?
If you boost, you can make it more consistent.
Interesting. Hadn't considered that. I always just
I have.
I had another lineup for it.
Pizza I have, but I still want to show this off because it's a really cool trick.
So you'll see the game thinks Jay is in temple entryway. You can see that room in the mini map is what it's focused on. And when you're in a room that's not the active room, a lot of collision checks are handled differently.
Now I need to count, so excuse my language swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close.
Yeah, pizza. At some point, whenever it's CGCC, a lot of times it becomes, okay, Echoes, go do all my cleanup. I'm going to turn this into an exhibition.
There we go.
Nice.
That's a fun one.
I love this trick. It's just fun to do.
Good job remembering to transition back. I was doing a race earlier today where I did not do that. And I had to find my way back in the dark.
Oh yeah, I had that already. I had that in a archipelago seat where I was accidentally suddenly in the dark, and then Kuni was like, you could just reset. I could, but the challenge is to know my game.
And so one of the important things I don't think we've touched on, even though Jay and Reed are on the same team, they've got 2 timers going. This is because we use the total combined time for the runners. So it is very beneficial in a race scenario to have one player finish before the other so that you stop the double time that's currently ongoing. So that's why prioritizing Jay's artifacts is quite powerful. So then it's just Reed's timer going for the remainder.
Prioritizing the artifacts also gets the Phazon suit hint, which is the last major item we're looking for besides the one Amorbus key. So getting some extra intel on that helps you kind of plan where you want to be thorough and where you think you can afford to skip some checks and prioritize the area where you know you have keys to pick up. Jay gonna show off the bombless strat for this room. Oh wow, boost makes that way better. I didn't know that.
Boost makes this free. It's so easy with
Yeah.
Boost.
It's so easy and it's super fast.
Huh, day I learned.
Yeah.
And then in theory I could also go, hey Reed, you want Sunburst?
Might as
If you
well.
want.
I mean, I am having to go fight Grapple Guardian, so.
True.
It's pretty timely,
because
actually.
something we haven't touched on. How close are you to Grapple Guardian?
Couple transitions, so you got a minute.
You got time. Go for it, Jay.
Jeff, you want to explain what happens here?
Sure. So, yes, we do have bombs and could very trivially get this item, but Jay is opting to wall boost, and by ramming Samus's ball against the collision, the ball kind of bounces up for a moment, gaining some vertical velocity, and then if we release boost at the right time, it'll propel Samus upwards. And we can do this in several places to skip bomb requirements. But it can be quite challenging if the... it's much easier when there is sloped collision to work with, and there is a tiny little slope against the darker part of the collision that Jay is working with here, but it's kind of flimsy, so it's not the easiest.
And then also,
Camera here is also pretty uncooperative and really likes to flip around on you.
I mean, I could try what we call.
The hole in
There is a
one.
player. There is a player that is known to do everything in a way more complicated way than it's supposed to. Buddy, I love you, Vipron. And Vipron just boosts and for some reason boosts in from up there and gets that consistent.
I've never seen that. That's amazing.
He and Mary found that some time ago. And ever since then, he tried to convert me to use that method. But yeah, wall boosting is a bit tricky, so if Reed reaches Grapple Guardian before I get this, I will most likely just jump in and grab the Sunburst.
Phazon Zoot is somewhere in Torvis Bar, in Vanilla Torvis. So,
Oh, that's a good hint.
On Chica is dead, Dream is dead.
Baha, you're lacking.
There's still an Aegon key unaccounted for.
I don't like you anymore.
The silence that broke. The silence that go on Earth. Just with that one sentence.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Did you find Phazon? No.
Not there.
on. I usually get this pretty fast. Though it is tricky and it is a very hard timing. Because you only have a couple of frames once you hit the wall to release it. It's not even a second. And then you can overshoot it or you can undershoot it like I did there.
Thermals and hive gyro. Do you want that badly?
I don't need visors, no.
I forgot that that's where thermal was. That's a pretty
I mean,
trash
you can grab...
location.
You have to fight quad anyway.
Yeah, I do.
You could just do the BSJ and then grab thermal on the way.
That's true.
The question is, how soon would you get to quad once I am moving to final bosses?
Right, but I said by the time I get to Ing Gyro, you'll be done with this. So
I'm just not getting this today. That's unfortunate.
No, these are tricky. You have, I don't even know if it's frame or a few frames to do this.
A few
Plus, you
frames.
need the direction it pushes you to be correct.
And you also need the right velocity going into that wall. Like, if you have too little speed, you won't make it. If you have too much speed, you overshoot it. There's just a lot of factors to keep in mind when it's coming to wall boosts. And again, the camera is basically, whenever you're doing wall boost, the camera will be your biggest enemy because Prime tries to force the camera behind the morph ball if you charge a boost.
there you go, buddy.
We are green!
Jay.
I love you too, buddy. There we go. I just needed to random... Oh my god. I just needed to random go at it.
There you go.
Amazing.
Wall boost locked by phase on suit. We're just gonna go with that.
Yeah, I just needed phase on true. I just needed to be green. Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
You like to be savage, right?
You like to be what?
For your little quote there about me making things look hard, how about I do something that is hard that could be done easier?
Oh, yes. Oh boy.
Oh,
There's no reason to do this.
I can't do the slope jump. That was too late.
stop falling in that hole now.
There it is.
So that was a so-called Uber bomb jump, in which I can manipulate the bomb timer by laying a bomb and then waiting. And then I have 5 bombs to my use instead of 3, which I can use to do a complex bomb jump to go up there. There would be a very easy slope jump. I can't learn that slope jump for the love of God. I am just not getting consistent with that trick. So sometimes you have to find a different way to do it. So I'm missing 2 more artifacts to beat my game. There is no item in my game anymore.
Nope,
That could
you
be
are
worth-
full cleared.
I should be full cleared. I am a bit scared that I might have skipped a red key. Oh god damn it, I remember about 1 red key. Baha, Jeff, could one of you look into the spoiler log just to confirm that I'm not mistaken? Because I think that was a Quadraxis key.
In Ice Ruins
Ruins
East.
West. No, East, yes.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, I think it was an Ing Hive key.
Yep, that is correct.
Echoes.
Is there anything else on the map, Jay, that we can think of?
do you
I'm
mean?
not saying that like suspiciously. I'm just
Well, let's
checking.
look. I checked those 3. I did see Frigate Crash site. I did see the 2 dynamo checks. That was a nothing down there, I remember. That was not interesting. That item was a missile for echoes. That was an E-tank for me. That was a missile for echoes. That was a missile for me. That was dark beam ammo. That was a missile and a hive key. That was nothing. That was a missile. That was a missile. That is a prime missile. This was a prime missile. This was an Echoes missile. This was a prime missile. This was a prime PB expansion. This was an Echoes missile.
Heck of a memory, honestly.
I was about to say, the fact that you can remember all of that is phenomenal.
That was a beam ammo. That was a missile for prime. That was a beam ammo that I skipped. That was a missile. Yep, I'm full clear.
Yep, looks good.
Yeah,
Certainly.
I'm the total opposite. Like, when I see something that's not important, my brain immediately deletes the information from like my working memory. To the point where like sometimes I'll be one room past where I was and be like, wait, did I actually look at that item? And I did. I just immediately discarded the information.
So yes, I am entirely full cleared. The last keys, all of them must be in your game. There is no item in my game anymore. And with that, I'm waiting on my last 2 artifacts to enter final bosses, which will have some funny things happening. So last one's a Sank, both a Sank. It's Temple, it's Temple Access, not Transport Access. It's Temple Access and Main Research.
I haven't done this in probably 10 years. How?
So if you walk into there's a bomb slot in the middle of that cage.
Okay, yep, alright. I was like, I haven't done this vanilla in probably a decade. Hold on.
Should have grabbed that grapple beam from Hall of Combat.
Well, that was about 40 minutes before I found my space jump, so...
Yeah, pretty rare to see this. This is quite a late screw attack. Screw attack is a very powerful movement system in Echoes. Lets you skip a lot of things. But yeah, it's been hiding down here, buried in Lower Torvus.
Every mobile tunnel becoming a secret world with screw attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say the screw attack is what makes Echoes so much more broken than Prime. I feel like if it wouldn't be for screw attack, Prime movement would probably overwhelm Echoes. Also, the boss that you have to scan to deal damage.
Yeah, it is barely possible to do this fight without scanning it and getting the auto lock on weak point, but much harder. Ooh, nice. Wow, Sunburst's just like one-shotting the first phase of this fight with double damage.
Alright.
Yeah, we have this. Probably can grab a dungeon on the way to Sank, and then just a couple artifacts for Jay and Sank.
Dungeon is...
Cestrion! Hello!
Cestrion! Dungeon. Why am I getting dungeon?
Well, it's kind of on the way if you're taking the transport to Sank elevator.
Echoes Weekly was insanely bad. Yeah, tell me something about insanely bad speeds.
Sorry, we just have a sanctuary boss rush ahead of us for Reed here.
Oh, a Sanctuary boss rush? You mean every boss?
Oh, true. We do Silva Morbus as well.
Yeah.
And we have no confirmation if Chica is really dead.
True.
So Jay, how you doing? Everything
I'm just having a good time here. I'm
Just chilling. All right.
yeah. Yeah, shoot the in-cache. You can shoot the in-cache through the bars to see the item. Is that it?
All right. Well played, Baha.
Yeah,
play.
sorry, a little heavy-handed there, but I didn't want you to miss this.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I was thinking about like dungeon. There's nothing required in dungeon.
I saw you try to scan the key bearer, and then when you like fell in the water, you just stopped, and I'm like, no, it's important.
Well, that
is go mode. Minus. Yeah, no, it's just straight up go mode.
Yeah, no, that's it.
We just need 6 SDKs.
Yeah, I need to pick up like 3 artifacts, 2 SD, like 6 SDKs, Dark Samus's laundry. You know,
You have to find every Dark Samus this season.
I do. Well, I'm with double damage. I might get like and get a DS4 skip. But...
Also, yeah, you still have to do Mining Plaza.
Still have to do Mining Plaza.
The classic
Yeah,
SDK in Mining Plaza.
Bench Prime Special.
Sink this way.
Yeah, this is the really nice part about like the Echoes game world is so nice for randomization. Like every region connects to every other region, like a nice hub and spoke kind of system. Pretty quick to get from anywhere to anywhere. Well, assuming you have the requisite items, of course.
So, while Reed is on the way for my last 2 artifacts, it might be a good time to actually start talking about final bosses. Because there will be a lot at once, and it's gonna be hard to explain everything while it happens. Basically, Metroid Prime has 3 final bosses, which we will only be seeing 2 of them. It has Metroid, which is going to show up in the Artifact Temple. Metroid has a, funny enough, missing damage cap for Boost Ball, meaning once Metroid lands, I will boost into him and take him immediately into the ground phase, which eradicates 70% of the health. After that would come Exo, which focuses on the 4 beams, basically making every single beam required. Which can and will be skipped with a complex wall crawl, which I will go back into detail or go into more detail later on. And then we have Essence. Essence is only damageable by the Hyper Beam, or by the Hyper Mode in general, which we can only access in this game if we have the Phasing Suit, and that's why the Phasing Suit is so important. For Reed, on the other side, once Reed has finished the gauntlet of bad SDK locations, Reed will have Emperor Ing waiting. What? The Cobalt Transit? Wow, what a hint!
Cobalt locked hint that also sort of hinted you Space Jam, neither of which much too late for either of those pieces of information to be useful.
Thanks, game.
So,
Are you gonna go for a screw attack here to try to avoid this spider puzzle?
oh yeah.
Nearly gets it.
Did not get enough off the.
But on Reed's side, we will have to face the Emperor Ing, which will go through 3 phases. Phase 1 and 2 will have pretty good use of Annihilator, double damage, and infinite beam ammo. Phase 3, on the other hand, our most beloved screw attack will handle by screw attacking his kneecaps, where is a small damage trigger still existing. We can take very easy care of that boss. And then we will have a final showdown with Dark Samus being in the final form, Dark Samus 3 and 4, in which we opt to do a very set amount of damage before Dark Samus tries to go into her second phase for the final fight. And from there on, we either do a stun, keep her in a chain stun with Dark Beam shots, or we try to screw attack her health away. Both of them can result in a very fast instant center, though.
Cobalt Emerald Crimson Amber.
Yeah, it's one of the somewhat recent changes to the Echoes randomizer is some of these puzzles in Sank have been randomized. Previously, this was the solution to this was always the same as vanilla game. But now you need to scan and remember.
Blue, green, red, orange. Also, this room and I have a history of Cannonball, and I don't like the history.
Yeah, there's kind of a electricity energy force field thing keeping you out of the center until you disable all the spinning gyros there. But with Cannonball, you can pass through that energy. However, the pathway isn't established yet if you haven't solved the puzzle, and you will just fall out of bounds.
Speaking of which, Reed, while you're here, do you want to pick up Cannonball for yourself? Well, you have to go back there anyway for what, I guess. If you want to pick up my thermal.
Yeah, I gotta go all the way back for Mortis, so.
Yeah, true.
In Mining Plaza. So.
God, you found the seat and you were just looking for this, huh? The hilarious thing is I was ready to have a very bad time in Prime, but in fact it was just Reed getting all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I picked out some bad ones for you, Jay. Don't worry.
It's tough. It's tough to balance this kind of stuff for Prime because it's like Prime is very all or nothing. You either can do literally nothing or you can do literally everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask you how you thought that was balanced, but we'll do that later.
When I say it's hard to balance, it doesn't mean that I actually did any balance.
There was no attempt.
It's an excuse, not a qualifier.
Yeah, it's hard to balance is just a statement.
I should have left for you, Jay. I think Sank Temple access.
Oh, true. I could go. I could go and give away my 8 artifacts right now. It will make the last artifact temple load a lot faster. So right now we can see the game is checking on the different layers how many artifacts of the required ones I have collected to spawn the final to let the final boss parade basically go. So now I retrieved 8 of the 9 missing artifacts, and if I go away, it only has to check for 1 layer anymore. I will just open the door within 2 seconds instead of 7.
Is that true?
It definitely loads faster, yeah. You're going to see. Usually Artifact Temple takes about 7 seconds to load on Nintendo. And once Reed gives me Temple access, it's going to load within 2 or 3 seconds.
That's also a randomized puzzle that my brain was just not wanting to do today.
I love them.
I often feel like an idiot when I can't solve that immediately. So used to the vanilla, just bottom right, left, bottom left, top right, top left.
Wait.
I always love when I'm stuck at them and I feel like this one Patrick meme from SpongeBob where he has this wooden plank nail on his head and I'm sitting there
yes.
I still want them to randomize Hall of Honor Dead.
Oh god,
God.
No.
The puzzle that no one understands.
I can't even keep the vanilla combination if I don't randomize it.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to stop.
Duncan chat furiously writing notes.
Oh, thank God, that has reasons not to.
When I looked at it and said, "What the hell is happening?"
We could get this done since I have to go to Airy.
The better question is, why don't you have to go?
No Chica? Despite my
Despite your effort.
yeah. Can't win them all, I guess.
I would like to know where the last Chickakee is, though. Do you know, Baha?
I have to dive actually. They weren't logically placed.
You could just beat Jay in there from where you come into.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do Sand Canyon Reed?
No, because I just got Screw Attack.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's where it is then. Reed going for the BSJ there.
Yeah, no, I'm on the red already.
Did it still hit the quad? Oh, well, it did half of it.
Yeah, somehow it hit its head without its body. I don't
But
quite understand how that worked.
But unfortunately,
And
it's the only one where you can't kill the head before the body. I don't even remember how you do this puzzle vanilla.
Yeah, there's
Shoot an
an
echo log.
echo point. Yeah, there's an echo log, and I'm just trying to find the stupid thing now.
Wrong visor.
You got Dark Visor up.
That'd be why I can't find the stupid thing. Good news! Oh,
It's all right. We're 2.5 hours in. The supply
Welcome
of brain energy is depleting.
The hilarious thing is just this wasn't your first time of a wrong visor. When you tried to peek dungeon, you first pulled up Echo.
I did.
Also, let's go. That's go mode for me.
That is
Now
go
look at
mode
this one.
for you. Now I'm gonna go back to Airy.
Open.
Ready.
I don't know. That seemed about the same amount of time.
Well, but it kept me busy. Let's see. Will I get the magical trick done today?
Believe in you.
After this very first phase, Ridley will start flying around. If you hit him at exactly the right moment in this phase transition here,
That's
he will
bad.
instead
That's really
immediately
bad.
go to the ground.
Yeah, that was not even a good attempt at all. I didn't have him in a good position. Okay, this is my favorite corner. I really like this corner, so I'm gonna roll in this. Basically what this does is once Ridley decides to come down to play with me, he will be in a very good position to not dash all of a sudden, because sniping the dash in the NTC version of this game is very hard.
Yep, so in phase 3, he's got 2 attacks he can choose from, either like opening his mouth and doing like a flame breath kind of attack, or trying to dash at you. You want the open mouth, because that's how you stun him and damage him, and he will refuse to dash if there is not enough room between him and a wall in the direction he wants to.
360 after this. 360 after this. Nice. It's 100% free.
And now here
Nice.
we're going to do a quick cleanup with Sukunosa.
That was a very clean fight. 1 for 1
Yep.
on the snipes as well. The decently friendly pattern.
In the meantime, Reed has fun with Dark Samus too.
Yep, we have
And
a
we're
homing
getting
meme that
into
does double damage with infinite ammo, so
Yeah,
Pretty
it's like
effective.
it's gonna be.
There is the Phasen Suit Hint also, and now we're going into the hardest part. This is where the game actually needs me to really focus up. So Jeff, if you want to take technical explanation, go ahead.
Sure. So what Jay is about to do is Exoskip. Exo being one half of Prime's final bosses. By first using one of our handy Metroids here, Jack and Jill, we will be using their collision to push us out of bounds in Crater Tunnel B. From there, it is a fairly lengthy wall crawl through all the sub-chambers, but that does allow us to skip Exo. Theoretically, you could skip Ice Beam and Wave Beam if the seed was free enough. But mainly, if it can be done optimally, it is considerably faster. But
Yes. So right now I'm in phase. Oh fuck. Ah,
which
not good.
I've never seen that before.
I looked at it. That was absolutely my bad. So we gotta wait for Jack to come back up again. So when I hide, well, let's say we're hijacking Jack, with no pun intended, into Crater Tunnel B. He won't have pathing in Crater Tunnel B, and he is very confused. He basically is going to be lost in there, and he is stuck underneath the bridge, isn't he? Of course he is. So we're going to Morphe and let him get a grip of us. We're trying to very carefully not go too deep into Crater Tunnel B to not be transitioned, so he keeps aggro. And now I need to wow, okay. Now I need to very carefully wiggle him into Crater Tunnel B and lay a bomb. Now when that happens, he ignores collision in Crater Tunnel B, meaning he could very well go out of bounds, which is why we look into this wall at the beginning and look at our radar in the top left. Metroids are coded to face you from first before they can jump at you, so he goes back inbounds. And now I'm going to manipulate his attacks to get him into a very good position for myself. Which means we're rolling in here. And we have him, he is now in a kind of idle animation because he doesn't really have pathing and we'll transition to Crater Tunnel B. Meaning if we retransition, we have to do the setup again. But if we're good on this... Oh, this might be a bit too far to right. Yeah, that was a bit too far to right. This is a good camera angle, though. This is no longer a good camera angle. This is by far the probably hardest part, to be honest. There we go.
nice.
But we
Nicely
did not
done.
get the IOJ. Ah, no IOJ. Okay, this is not the best case. Best case, we would get a instant unmorph jump and I could get understandable up there. But I get to show the backup, which means... So, one major difference between Echo's out of bounds and Prime out of bounds is Prime has limited influence. Limited influence is not only affecting us if we press the R button, but also if we walk down of a collision. We can't control where Samus is falling, or we only have very limited control of how Samus is falling down the collision. While in Echoes, you will still remain in full control, which means if I don't get my ether jump out, Samus will fall, and Samus will fall deep. In comparison to Echoes out of bounds, Samus can go back out of ether if you mess up the jump. So what I'm doing here is I got myself a nice corner. A very small gap in the corner in which Samus can fall. And I now have basically infinite attempts of getting my ether jumps. Which I need a lot of because Phase and Core, this room is very big. And I need to go high. So now we're saying bye to Jack because he did his duty. We're off to the fun part of this wall crawl.
Yeah, so again, there's a whole bunch of invisible triggers inside these rooms to actually load the next portion. So that's why you might not see Jay go directly to the door or the open transitions for the sub-chambers because he's got to make sure to hit those triggers so we can load the next room properly. As well as at the start here, also avoiding the trigger to just start the normal fight. Because if you touch that, then you have to do the normal fight. Exo skip is over. There's also another one coming up where you can actually potentially soft lock, and so we do have to be quite careful as we move around here.
Yes, there is in total 2 soft locks that you can encounter. and there is the fight start trigger that you just don't want to hit. So here we have to do a quick R jump. I'm not on a standable collision, which means I'll have to bump jump once. This by far is the hardest room to cross, though. This room has the hardest standables that you have to learn by heart.
Yeah, usually if it's like a flat ceiling that you're walking across, it's a little bit more forgiving, but since this is kind of a dome that we're working with, it's not great.
Now this is a fake exo. This exo will never really start the fight. But ironically enough, while we are doing exo skip, we will now always unmorph towards this fake exo. Means even if I do a bomb jump forward here and try to get on top of some standables, by unmorph, we're unmorphing towards exo at all times. I need to go by my visual cues, please.
I know we don't need anything anymore. I just like to see if any of the hits were actually. Oh, there's a boost line. Okay. One hit was useful. Hit system redeemed. All right.
Now all that we need is one good jump here. And that's exo skip.
Nicely done.
That would have been a really good one if I would have gotten the IOJ. Instead it is a decent one.
Did you do
So
Signal's pass already, Reed? Oh,
What's
go
up?
ahead. Sorry. Yeah, no, focus on the essence fight. Go ahead.
So I'm just gonna stand here and let Essence do Essence business. She's gonna lay a pool there, which is not the best spot, but I can manipulate her to be in front of me. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ever so slightly just tap the shoot button and keep her in a stun lock. Essence has a set number of animations to play before Essence tries to lay the next pool. So keeping her in the stun lock and skipping the animations basically forces her to be in a good position to lay a pool, because if she goes too close to the exo corpse, she can just decide to pool skip you, which means she goes into the next visual spectrum, but she will not lay another phase in pool, which we try to lay. And now she's right here.
So no
we don't
thermal
have
visor,
thermal?
so we gotta do this invisibly. But with some audio cues, and we can also use scan visor, you can not fairly easily find where essence is, but can give you some hints.
That was a really good second pool for me not having thermal, not gonna lie.
Yep.
And now here we're going to do a different strat, being pool cancels. Pool cancels means I'm shooting phase-on or I'm shooting hyper mode on the frame that I'm leaving the pool, so it won't drain the pool, which means I can do some extra damage, and time is coming up for me. On the first frame of the death cutscene is time for me, so I'm gonna spray her down here, and that's time.
Nice, GG.
Jeez.
That is a
And-
245-26 for me.
As you head to a boss, I am also heading to a boss.
What Rexus?
This is a cool fight, Veronica. So the first phase is going to be pretty much vanilla, but there is a little bit of tech we can do to speed up the second phase. There will be a antenna that you're supposed to damage with Echo Visor, but the antenna is weak to screw attack, and so with screw attack we can very rapidly kill it, and then take down the antenna on the boss head. Annihilator also does really nice work in this fight. You're not actually supposed to have it, since Quad himself is the thing that drops the Annihilator beam in vanilla. One more leg to go.
There.
Oh, no, 2 more legs? No, okay. Just
No, it was done. It
Grabber.
just
Quad does take a while to decide that his legs have actually been destroyed.
not high enough.
Yep. Similarly, again, if it looks like you can stand on it, you can stand on it. His legs are standable. There's actually a couple of fun things you can do in this fight by climbing up his body, including you can just leave the fight in the middle of the fight if you wanted.
There
Not
he
that
is.
we're going to want to do that, given that there's an SDK here. It's kind of key.
There you go. Where did he go?
Yeah, inbound squad skip deletes squad.
Yep.
So it always comes with a set risk, basically. I'm actually not too sure. How does like normal quad skip handle it? Does normal quad skip also delete quadraxis?
Yeah, I think any percent just never collects Annihilator.
I mean, yeah, they don't collect it, but is the file itself getting deleted in any percent? I don't think so.
It might not. Yeah, I think it doesn't. I don't think collecting the energy actually removes the fight. I think you actually have to start the fight and then leave.
Hmm.
There we go.
Yeah, not actually sure. Yeah, the antenna in this phase might be invulnerable to Annihilator. I could be wrong.
They
Might have
are.
been why the first phase didn't quite work out.
Yep, I had to remember that because again, you don't really ever fight quad anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a rare boss fight by now. And yes, Pizza, you won't drop past quad in any percent. It's just, if you do inbound quad skip in Rando as an example, the item on quad or quad itself, the fight gets deleted. So, it's just always interesting to... I was unsure if once you collect the energy and the after layer gets selected, if that would also affect quad being deleted. Because, believe me or not, but layers in this game are difficult, and understanding what each layer, like, how each layer gets triggered is impossible, it feels like. Also, nice camera.
Enjoy the moments where you're just kind of levitating in midair and the morph fall after you bomb the first quad bomb slot.
It is awfully nice of him to design his legs with some spider tracks. Be like, oh, you needed. Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Or just do the fight without Spider Ball.
Right. It's just absolutely possible.
It's just very bad.
Yeah.
Like, nearly any high-level trick in this game.
We have left Sentinel's Path, Morbus, and Mining Plaza.
This path, the Morbus, and mine.
So yeah, Baha, your plan of making us use our time that we have for estimate really went that well, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna be pretty close, I think.
I don't think too close, but I think this is going to be a 215, maybe 220-ish finish on your side. But yeah, that's a pretty good guess for the 3.5.
So next time, if you don't want to curse C, just set the estimate lower, and I'll make something nicer for you.
Yeah, next marathon,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm gonna need this. We're gonna do this
So I
in
just-
45 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, this is not your average C. This is specifically selected because it had a lot of bad.
Yep.
Because a lot of bad means players have to have a very different approach for seeds and have to think very carefully of what they do, and this is just perfect for showcase seeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was not uncommon to see. Probably in our last tournament, I think times were kind of between 1:30 and 2 hours ish.
Yeah.
On average.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. And this seed you just can't play as fast, given that what's it called?
If you're save warping or don't forget Sentinel's Path.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
This seed you just can't play as fast, given that we have Echo Space Jump and Storage Seed, which is
Yeah.
a number on its own.
It's pretty bad.
That was super fun.
My conceit with the seed was basically like the bad things were in your own seeds, which kind of railroads you into them. Was kind of my logic versus like space jump on like Echo Space Jump on Omega Pirate, where it's like who knows when Jay's ever going to go there. Like that kind of stuff is what I try to avoid. Like we were talking about earlier beforehand, the Prime Space Jump on O'Lear was I think a little too much.
Yeah, one of the ones I gen had Wave Beam on Fortress Transport Access.
Though I have to say, I did enjoy X-Ray in one of the last locations before it would like become out of logic.
Mm-hmm.
That
There were
was
some fun
fun.
things. Yeah, Vanilla Dark Beam.
Vanilla Dark being no vanilla bombs, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Alright, these are randomized food dollars, aren't they? So I need to hear this.
Yes.
Small fun fact, you could also scan it. If you scan it, it will tell you the frequency.
Really? Ah, nice. Is that on the new accessibility settings?
It's in new patcher.
Very nice.
One more boss and his 2 items he's guarding, and we are ready for Echo's final boss.
The fact of the Morbus was not only guarding his item, but mining Plaza as well.
Yeah, another one of those layer change things. You need to collect and return the Aegon energy. Yeah, the way the energy returning works in this game is kind of interesting. You know, in vanilla, your kind of mission is to go and collect and return the energy of all 3 regions. Well, the game only checks for you to return the Sank energy for it to assume that you've done them all, and for Umos, the Luminoth in Great Temple, to give you the light suit item. The mining plaza item is actually explicitly tied to returning the Aegon energy. Whereas Torvus energy actually does literally nothing except make some room layers worse. So nobody ever
Right.
actually gives Torvus its energy back.
Nope, I'm gonna keep that.
Yep, we do enjoy safety saves.
Just in case. Again, before we started our run, my laptop crashed twice, so
Oh god,
just
yeah.
in case.
So now that we've killed the second to last boss in the game, let's go kill the first. The Morbus will be pretty trivial with these items. One thing Reed can attempt to do in the Amorphous fight is go for a strat called Worm Skip. Normally in the fight, you're going to fight 1, and then 2, and then 3 Amorphous Worms. But in the second part of the fight, if you kill the second worm while the first one is still dying before it detaches from the egg thing in the center of the room, the third phase will only have 2 worms instead of 3, which saves a little bit of time.
And then you get double worm skip.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, if you do it again in the third phase, the game doesn't know what to do when you just soft lock. So don't be too good at the worm fight.
Yeah, I remember when I tried to learn this game and had a lot of Echoes players mentor me through seeds, and suddenly I did a second worm skip and my mentor was just like, oh no. Well.
You have made a mistake.
I'll have to step away for 1 second. I'll be back.
good news. Your game's. Oh, let me check. Right, you're done. So go for it.
Did we find every major? I mean, we didn't pick up the thermal, which was not.
Didn't pick up
necessary.
thermal. It was in Hive Gyro.
And then didn't pick up Echo's grapple, which was
No.
not worth it.
No, it's not worth a 3-minute puzzle to do that. If not, slightly longer for it being.
I was curious if you were going to assume that the seed I'd rolled was so trolly that was hard required, but you correctly called my bluff.
I considered going back for it.
While y'all are jaunting around, mind if I say some words about the charity?
Please do.
Absolutely.
All right, so for everybody who maybe is just joining us or perhaps has been lurking for a while watching this lovely randomizer, we are raising money this weekend for the Liam Foundation, which is an LGBTQIA+ organization based out of Rockford, Illinois. Their mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower the LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Their mission has been going since 2015, and they have made a number of some really nice changes, some improvements really in the last year or so. They do have regularly ongoing meetups for such things as D&D, support groups for trans and non-binary adults, queer teen meetups, and adult peer support groups. Some of the things that they have added in the last year, for one, they opened a new space last June, which allowed for them to open up even more events, like an open mic event, a queer elders brunch, a name change clinic, and also a queer families meetup. In addition, they had the first Pride Parade located in Rockford, Illinois, just a couple of weeks ago, at the beginning of June, which just speaks to the mission that they are doing, how well they are doing at it, and how they have been able to help amplify voices and support and access for LGBTQ folks in not just Rockford, but of course also obviously in the larger elements of Illinois and around the country as well. So we have definitely been proud to support the Liam Foundation these last 3 summer marathons that we have done. And if you all have the means to do so, we would be grateful for you to give any support that you can. But even if you don't have the money to give, all of you watching, we very much appreciate you being here with us. This very much helps us out in a lot of ways. And also, you can do some social media promoting if you like on platforms like X and Instagram and other ways that you can try to get folks to come by and watch us. All of that would be greatly appreciated, and we thank you very much.
Came back in the perfect timing to see the room.
Yeah, into the second phase here, so we'll see if we can get the worm skip. Goal is to break off both of the head plates here and then quickly bomb one, boost over to the other, and bomb it too. It's like a good start. Ah, very
Oh.
close. That was so close.
Rude.
We'll get the third worm here, but it does not. It honestly is not that much of a time save to get the worm skip strat. Mostly just swag.
To add on what was said, fantastic charity. If you guys can donate, please do. These people are doing a lot of good. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I
This is what we are here for. Yeah, appreciate Final Fantasy Randomizer community putting this on and for having
Absolutely.
us.
Well, I do have a donation to add, actually.
Go
all
for it.
right.
All right. Yes, one of you. Baja Blood donated $50 that says, "Congrats on surviving my nonsense."
It's absolutely worth it to help raise money for a worthy organization. So thank
Mhm.
you for putting on and making the nonsense for us.
Absolutely, and thank you to both of you guys. Thank you for Vaha and Jeff, both taking their free time to sit here and explain stuff. Especially Jeff sitting through stuff, having to explain stuff where he's like,
I will also make a slight additional my own entry onto that. That means that we are $50 away from another hat, so just keep that in mind as well.
So is that you just wear 2 hats, or is
Yes.
it like an alternating hat? Okay.
No. I have worn hat stacks of, I think, up to 15 on stream before.
That's impressive.
Now, how I have managed to keep those hat stacks balanced, I don't quite remember, to be perfectly honest, but
There's always something to be said for duct tape and a staple gun.
oh, I don't even use any of that. It's just pure balancing energy.
Fun fact, Reed, did you know that whenever you take the energy of Aegon, that every Aegon exit towards the elevator is locked?
Yes. Did you know that you need to return the energy for mining plaza to work?
Yes. Believe it or not, I was not always able to do the SAU. And I'm still not really able to do it.
Quite difficult trick to be able to collect mining plaza from out of bounds. In the case that we were missing Echo Visor or the Amorbus keys or didn't want to fight Amorbus. Luckily, Reed has everything in hand to collect mining plaza freely. And yeah, we didn't get to see too much of it, especially with kind of Screw Attack being late, but there are plenty of ways to kind of break open the Echo's logic through use of Screw Attack and out of bounds.
Unfortunately, Screw Attack was our last progression, so which is odd because Screw Attack is usually your first progression.
I was about to say, I have to say, having this difference between most CGC seats having early Screw Attack and Echoes just breaking logic everywhere, and Screw Attack being last progression in general, just makes things a lot more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Speaking of layer changes, yeah, here's the one you get for grabbing the Aegon energy. Or is that just fighting Amorbus? That's just fighting Amorbus, isn't it?
Yeah. No, actually. That's having the energy. That's having the energy, yeah.
It's the after layer that lets those spawn. Did you pick up Cannonball, Reed?
Nope, never did.
Oh boy. Good luck with the inglets.
Sometimes they don't troll.
At that point, I'll have 8 PBs and double damage, so
yeah,
we're good.
One last trip over to Aegon Energy Controller, give the energy back. That will set our layer in Mining Plaza. Rest to grab the item, and then we're ready for final bosses.
Time to go turn on the sun.
I just realized Reed not picking up Grapple and Hall of Combat Mastery means Reed is not finishing with a full tracker.
That's true. I also didn't pick up your Wave Buster, so.
Well, but is Wave Buster on the 3 lines? Yes, it is. Goddammit.
It is.
Well, you also did not pick up the Inghive key from Ice Ruins East, so you made Reed's job impossible if he was going for a full tracker. How could you?
I'm sorry.
Next year. Next year's full tracker Rando. So the sun has been turned back on in Aegon, so we can go back and this last SDK and head for final bosses.
I don't know what I find funnier. Like, Torvus has a real, like, change when you bring back the energy, right? It stops raining, and the entire time you can see some sunlight coming through the dark clouds before. And then there's Sank and Aegon just basically, well, there's a shadow now. That's your change.
Yeah, the sun is brighter.
I always just love that it's moth people with giant lamps.
Honestly, I have never thought about it that way.
Luckily, evolution has stopped them from wanting to fly into the lamps. Annihilator.
Annihilator doing Annihilator things.
I'm helping.
I'm doing that. Annihilator.
Until the cutscene goes, I'm just shooting.
There's the small bit of ricochet, you could call it, of a homing beam. The beam kind of has its own will.
Go.
Huzzah. STK in Mining Plaza.
Yeah, no, this is a good one. STK in Mining Plaza, STK in Airy, Quad, Morbus. I mean,
to be fair, it could have been worse. The SDK that was on Morbus could have been on Chica.
it could have been on Chica, absolutely.
Because you would have probably still had to fight a Morbus, right? To pick up Mining Plaza.
Yes, 100%. Because I'm not doing the SAU. I respect our viewers too much to try to do the SAU.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of practice to get comfortable with Echo's out of bounds movement and some of the various challenging tricks. SAU is a lot of different button inputs in a very small period of time. It takes a lot to develop that muscle memory.
Yeah. And it's also just Echo's tricks are more technical in general, in which, you only have a set amount of frames to do this amount, to do this series of inputs, or you have to lock in your boost ball and tap very slightly into one direction and then already hold one button, get an instant unmorph jump, and immediately hold another button to get enough speed. It's just, in comparison to Prime, when I always look at the two games, it's like Echoes has a whole essay of what you need to do for a trick, and then there's Prime. Be fast.
Yeah.
If you get your jumps down in Prime, you get your jumps down. There is not too much of an input mess.
Yeah, Echoes is just a great novel of everything you have to do, and then Prime is just, I don't know, have you tried just not caring about physics?
Have you tried to do yourself from some ruinous space fighters armor? And you maybe I still can't believe that perfect timing for boost ball though.
That was pretty awesome.
I would have been able to get the spinner item. It's not about the spinner item. The spinner might have taken me like a minute, but I don't like getting out of what's it called? I don't like getting out of life growth without boost. Doing
Just do
that
the wall
jump
crawl.
back is not as easy. Well, yes, the wall crawl would be an option, but slow. In a game that's all about speed.
Alright, so we are off to do final bosses. We've got 2 rooms of transitions, and then there we go.
And then we have the one room with the only reason why screw tech is hard required for final bosses.
Yep. We were at 8 PV, so more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were well equipped here in the final bosses.
And then double damage, annihilator, unlimited beam ammo. I can
Yeah.
hear Emperor
And-
Ink 2 screaming.
Yes, like sunburst into a few annihilator shots, basically one shots, Emperor 1.
Now, the main question that I'm asking myself is, will Reed get center?
Probably.
Wow, nice dodge by Emperor Ink. Oh, I never picked up your... I never picked up your unlimited missiles, huh? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So
Alright, so it takes
one
care of
cycle.
one.
And now with those PBs, we want to manip the little arms, tentacles, to come out of that core. And we can lay a PB to destroy multiple of them at once. Which makes this fight a lot easier.
Perfect world, we can get all 11 with just 3 power bombs. If they decide to come out.
I don't know if you've noticed on stream, but since we don't have Reed's audio, there's some very comically mismatched music.
Is it better than Mission Final? Because that's the gem I've been going for.
So as Jay mentioned earlier, these kneecaps are very vulnerable to screw attack. So we will see Emperor Ing 3's health bar rapidly deplete if Reed can get some, already nearly dead.
Oh yeah, no, we're right there.
I used to be
If
an
I-
Emperor Ing like you until I took a screw attack to the knee.
Something I've been wondering about, because I've heard about... Yeet. I heard about that, and I'm unsure if that's just a myth, but if Reed was to damage Emperor Ing now, would the HP go down?
Yeah.
Or would it... Because I heard a myth that, like, if you hit a certain damage point
Oh, no. You can-
after doing screw attack damage, it would just, like, go back
No.
to full health.
Not even close.
Are there old wives' tales about Prime now? Have we reached that point in the game's history that there's like community myths?
There's tales of the ones who are old enough to tell the tales.
I don't appreciate you, Emperor Ring. Please behave. Stop behaving.
He said behave. You didn't say. You didn't tell him to behave good.
Yes, that's fair.
I'm shocked that didn't do enough damage, honestly.
Yeah, he keeps reacting just in time to block these screw attacks with his legs. Oh my god, the knee!
Yeah, nope. Don't care anymore. We're done.
There we go.
So good news. We can test that right now, and yep, we're good.
Myth busted.
Busted.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. Still, me and the Menti have no idea how that myth came up in the first place. But we found it hilarious. Hey Reed, did you scan the Lumina?
I did not.
Because I forgot to scan the artifact scan. Could have shown off Baha.
Oh, that's true.
Honor Baha and TGC. Ancestral and Cosmo and DCR and the Weakest Link and all the amazing people that have played in the tournaments and mastered them. So this is DS3. I think you're one Dark Beam shot off. I might be wrong.
Going for the Dark Beam strats. Love this.
Yeah,
we're trying to prevent her from getting to the center. She does react by putting up a barrier and shoot missiles, which kind of interrupts her getting to the center. And you can get a couple Dark Beam shots in each time. This is really nice.
Yeah, nicely done.
Nicely done. Wow. Time.
That's time. Really well done.
Actually, did not get centered, amazingly enough.
Yeah.
317.82. Not bad.
Yeah, GG's.
For the amount of cleanup that had to be done in Echoes, that was I'm okay with being about 30 minutes behind you.
This is absolutely. I knew we had a storm coming for us once you entered Sky Temple Gateway after 1.5 hours with 2 keys.
Right.
That kind of was a bad omen. Blue. And gone.
Oh yeah, another nice little rando feature. The multiplayer suit colors have been implemented. So
Yes.
you can change up the color of Samus.
So, once again, from me, and I think I can speak for the entire Prime community, thank you to the Final Fantasy Randomizer community for having us here. This has been lots of fun. It was really fun sitting here with you and Jeff. Thank you, Reed, for even doing this with me.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure, and anytime we get to get some money together and raise awareness and some cash for a good cause, I'm 100% in.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a lot of fun, actually. Even though the seat was made to make us suffer, we both had an amazing time with this.
100%.
I just be both on the exact same time standing in front of an item and shaking their head, with me with Plasma and Fathers and you with SJ in Storage C.
That was incredible.
No, but really, thank you all for having us here. This was
Absolutely.
amazing.
So, and there are a ton of other really, really good runs coming up tonight that are incentives and other things. We've got those amazing prizes the FFR Rando community is giving away for donations. So please make sure, if you're able, jump in, donate what you can, and support Liam Foundation and their ongoing efforts to be an amazing resource. And if you want to come hang out with us and play some Prime 1, then let me throw it in the chat real quick. But there is the link to the Discord and to Randomania itself. We've got a bunch of games that are hopefully in like some super secret beta that'll be ready here soon, TM. But Prime and Dreads, AM2R, we got a ton of stuff that's already in there from Metroid series and beyond. So please come join us, and we won't bite. We're pretty cool about helping newbies and trying to get everything put together. So
I appreciate that you named every game but Echoes, as though no one will ever want to play Echoes after this.
you know, Prime, Dread, AM2R, Samus Returns, anything but
Cave
this.
Story. Cave Story's in there too.
Cave Story.
Story. Ah, beautiful. Retaking vacation from Echoes, you know.
Yeah, right.
That
No,
seems
but-
like we should probably wrap it up. We're getting pretty close to the time of the
Yeah,
next
we're
next
right
game
there.
popping up.
Yeah.
Thank you again to the FF Rando, Final Fantasy Rando community for having us here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
I will speak on behalf of the community and say thank y'all very much for joining us. It was a great race. And GG's to both of the runners, and thank you for the great comms. Thank you, Baha and Jeff, for shepherding us through this all. Thank you for joining us. Hope y'all have a great rest of the marathon, and if y'all are able to, of course, keep on watching and keep on helping us support the Liam Foundation.